Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Just Seen motherfucking podcast. And today, as you've seen from the title, we continuing on with the 12 laws of the motherfucking universe, baby. And today we're going to be talking about inspired action. This law is, I want to say law number 5, if I'm not mistaken. And this is the law that follows the law of attraction. Now, keep in mind, as I said when we first started this, always consider the laws of the universe not necessarily as tier, as one law is better than the other, but consider them like the Wu-Tang Clan. It ain't nothing to fuck with. But in the sense that each individual law can stand on its own, but it still works in unison and in sync with the other laws of the universe. You dig what I'm saying? Now, when we understand, quick recap first before we dive in, but you know, we have the law of divine oneness, the law of vibration, law of correspondence, law of attraction and repulsion. And then we're going into the law of inspired action. If you haven't heard the previous ones, you know, just go check them out, bro. Get caught up, man. Shit, get caught the fuck up, man. My bad. I've been hanging with my niece, right? She funny as shit. I've been hanging with my niece, yo, and like we was playing like old Nintendo 64 games and shit together. And like, one thing she always do, she be like, yo, my bad, man. And she mess up and shit. She be like, my bad, man, dang, man. She funny as shit, bro. But yo, she was, that's where I got that shit from. So if I say that, if you hear me say this, cause she rubbed off on me and shit. You feel me? And then, you know, I was rubbing off on her too. Every time she got game over, she be like, yo, pass the sticks. I had her saying pass the sticks and shit. Oh, man. But I guess that in a way that ties into the law of inspired action. So inspired action comes off of the law of attraction because you don't become inspired until you're attracted to something, right? Whatever attracts you, whatever you're attracted to, or whatever you're repelled from is what is responsible for inspiring your action. Now, when we look at inspiration as a whole, we got to know that inspiration is basically... Inspiration, well, in spirit as one comes, inspiration is derived from the word inspiritu or spirit or whatever, and it means breath or whatever. So we know from previous podcast episodes that when it comes to the breath means balance. So the inspired action is basically your balanced action, but it's deeper than that because it's the balanced actions that occur based off of your connection and how well you're intertwined with the law of attraction. Because like I said, it's basic. Your actions are going to be predicated upon what you attract and what you repel. Every action that you make in this world is going to be built off of one of those things. You're either going to do something because you're repelling it, or you're going to do something because you're attracting it. So when the law is at play and your attraction, what you're attracted to has already been defined based off of oneness, vibration, and correspondence. Your inspired action is going to be that. So when people be like, I need motivation to do something different, or I need motivation, I need to be inspired. I'm not inspired. I don't feel inspired. You don't feel inspired because you're no longer attracted to the things that are inspiring you. This episode, I'm going to be talking a lot about music. I can already feel it. I'm going to be talking about my connection with music and, you know, my pen and writing and shit like that. And a lot of it's going to be like why I haven't been writing and, you know, what's happening while I'm getting back into writing and all of the other shit. And you know, most of the examples and a lot of the shit that I'll be covering in relation to the law of inspired action is going to be tied to that. Of course, I'm going to be using other things, but I can go ahead and tell you right now that it's going to be the bulk of that because of just the space that I'm in. And it's basically what I'm now attracted to. Again, the inspiration and the mental capacity of just everything that I've experienced in life and how it translates to what my actions are. You feel me? Because that ultimately plays into the full scope of what we are as people and how when we're tied to the law of attraction, when we're tied to the law of attraction, we're basically, we're going to be inspired to act according to that law. You feel me? So the vibrations that we on, the correspondence, and I know it seems like I'm rambling because I'm trying to get in the space and in the pocket and just get into flow right now. So when it comes to this law of inspired action, like I was saying, everything that you're attracted to is what's inspiring you right now. So when you decide to act, when you decide to do something, action, as we're going to look at it from this perspective, is purely doing. You feel me? Once we cross over into this space, and this law is basically what you will or won't do. It's not nothing. It's nothing that you have to be told to do. It's nothing that you have to be processed to. It's what you're calibrated to, and it's what will or will not happen based off of what you're attracted to and what you repel from. You feel me? The law of inspired action also gets manipulated a lot because people don't know how to say no. You know, we're in a space where no is so no is like a damn cuss word and shit. Like, motherfuckers, when they hear no, they feelings get hurt. It sends they fucking nervous system into an emotional shock. And this is, you know, speaking from my own perspective as well, too. When you have to tell somebody no, or you hear no, it fucks with you. You know what I'm saying? You act like you cursing or something. You feel bad. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to say no. No, don't apologize for saying. You don't apologize for saying yes. You feel me? We put certain connotations with no, but then that determines and that dictates a lot of our actions, because a lot of us end up doing shit based off of some shit that we don't want to do because we won't say no. But it's because we don't realize that we can't say no to certain things just because of the way the programming was. So the inspiration that we're always going to have to act is going to be tied to everything that we have vibrated and aligned to. So when people talk about their manifestations and shit like that, the law of attraction helps you manifest things and bring things into reality. However, the law of inspired action is what helps you keep it. You feel me? A lot of people don't know how to keep the things that they get. And it's easy to lose it because if it's not wired to your vibration, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to be inspired to act accordingly. Now, with repulsion and attraction, the attraction is I now do the actions necessary to keep. And the repulsion is I now do the necessary actions to release. You feel me? So in one full breath, it's one thing to say, yo, I want to operate in the law of attraction. And it's like, how come when people get it, they squander it? And this is where self-sabotage comes in too. Self-sabotage is inspired action. You're inspired to act in a way that goes against you. You feel me? Because of so many different layers and buffers that are in place that make us not want to do or to maintain the necessary courses of action to make sure the laws stay in place. But before we dive heavy into that, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Seen the Light. Be sure to check out my website at IamJustSeen.com to get all things that are just seen. To all those who tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you are greatly appreciated. To all those who would like to tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you can do so by clicking the link in the description to the podcast. Not the episode, but the podcast itself. And as always, Cash App and PayPal are just fine. And you know the vibes. That's that for this and that's this for that. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to dive into inspired action. How do I want to subtitle this one? Ooh, the law of inspired action. How you do that there? And don't forget to visit IamJustSeen.com. There, you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the So For Real series to your library? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to learn how to master the markets for serious trading and investing? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You ever want to just chat with Seen about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustSeen.com. So take a quick peek into my world to see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it, and you will never see it unless you visit IamJustSeen.com. All right. Welcome back. Ow. And without further ado, we're going to dive heavy into this motherfucker. So kicking it off, so the law of inspired action, right? Like I was saying before the break, it's what you are naturally going to be wired to do. So this is why I'm glad I kind of ended off on self-sabotage, because this is one of the quintessential pieces of why people like, you ever heard somebody say some shit like, I don't know why I do what I did. You know what I'm saying? You're like, why did you do that? I don't know. I just did it. Motherfuckers really have an answer. But then sometimes there are times when motherfuckers really don't have an answer, but the answer is there, whether they're willing to acknowledge it or not. The answer that is there is that I'm calibrated to a vibration that makes me do stupid shit. And when I say stupid shit, I mean in the context of self-sabotage, shit that naturally goes against me. Why? Because I'm wired to do shit for another motherfucker. Low key, we're calibrated and we wired to be slaves, to be enslaved people. and do things as a slave would do. You feel me? From our religious standpoints, from whatever it is that we choose to believe, everything is like the greater good of humanity and all this other shit. They put a lot of euphemisms on it, but they put it in a space in which you're supposed to do for, be quote unquote functioning and members of society and shit. So we're calibrated to do things that are not for the benefit of ourselves, but for, what we're perceiving to be the benefit, the greater good. But this greater good is not calibrated correctly. You feel me? You're designed to do something like when John Rockefeller said, I don't want a nation of thinkers, I need a nation of workers. He wanted people to be in alignment with a vibration that gave them inspired action to do things that he wanted them to do. And we're still doing that today. You feel me? It's so programmed, it's so wired. Go to school, get a good education so you can get a good job. For fucking what? So you can help with another motherfucker's mission, another motherfucker's plan. Inspired action, when that law is at play, it makes us self-sabotage and violate against ourselves, because the inspired action is not for us to improve ourselves. It is not for us to make our situations better. It is not for us to do anything that brings euphoria to us. It's for the euphoria of other people through the trauma of ourselves. And when I say trauma, I don't necessarily mean it that trauma necessarily has to be the grandiose traumas. You know what I'm saying? But trauma can be subtle. You feel me? Trauma can be subtle, and it comes from hearing no. It comes from the word no a lot of times. And I was listening to a guy, I think his name is Jim Rohn, I want to say it is. But this was years ago when I heard it, so I could be saying, or was it Carnegie? I don't know. It was somebody. But he said, by 4 years old, a child has heard no about 16,000 times, right? You have been told, you have heard for so long not to be for yourself, but to go for something else. If you ask, can I do this? It's no, and this is where when you always hear me talk about, ability versus permission. You feel me? Because we hear no at such a young age and we don't even know the differences between permission. We're not told the differences between permission and ability. We automatically assume that when somebody says, no, you can't do something, that it's coming towards our ability, when they're really just saying you don't have the permission. You feel me? And then not having the permission, we internalize that as ability. So we ultimately start chipping away at our own abilities, which now means that your inspired action is always going to be tainted as a law. But it's not tainted in the sense that you're inactive. You're just going to do the things. You're just not going to do any things that align with your ability. You're going to do things that align with your permission and what you're permitted to do, and what somebody can tell you, hey, this is what you should be doing. This is what you need to be doing. This is what you can do. This is what you can't do. This is what you will do. This is what you won't do. But that inspired action teaches us so much of what we don't know how to do, or what we can't do, that it doesn't allow us to develop what we can. You feel what I'm saying? So when you're already on a vibration that corresponds a certain way to make you attract certain things, everything that you're now attracted to, everything that you're now vibrating to attracted to, you're going to be inspired to do. This is where the will comes in. You will or won't do something, because the first four laws embed everything into our unconscious mind. Our unconscious mind is really the mind that sets our intentions, that makes us do shit. So your intention naturally has to go with your inspired action, but your inspiration comes from what you're attracted to and what you repel, right? When you start hearing no, it teaches you how to repel yourself. I'm going to say that again. When you start hearing no about the things that you want to do or the things you feel compelled to do, you start to inspire yourself to go against you. Your inspiration is always going to be designed to go against you. When I tell people, if you read So Frail 3, when I tell people about the sphere of Netzach and I talk about being a victor and a victim, victimhood is developed not because you have been victimized, but because you have been placed in a situation to go against yourself. And when you're in a place to go against yourself, you always justify why you go against yourself. This has nothing to do with women who have been raped. This has nothing to do with people that are kidnapped and tortured and things of that nature. I'm not talking about victimization from that. You are a victim for that. But I'm talking about people who have a defeated mentality and they feel like they're victims. They have a defeatist mentality. This is why also in So Frail 3, I use the words interchangeably, where I say instead of victim and victor, I use winner and loser. Some of us are on a vibration to be a loser. And so the inspired action that we have is just to make us lose. That's it. Just to make us lose. And when we're so programmed and wired to lose, we think losing is just how we're supposed to be. In our culture, in the black culture, in the black community, we feel like we can't do anything. All of our inspiration, anything that we're inspired to do, even when it comes up in that moment where our mind says, go do this, first thing we have to do is we're programmed to do is to go check in with the deity. Whether it be God, Allah, Jehovah, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, Yeshua, whatever, you're going to go pray to the deity and you're going to ask, can I do this? Your deity is never going to tell you yes or no, because deities don't speak words. They speak images. Contrary to people saying, yo, I talked to God and he didn't say do this. I talked to God or he told me to do this. I talked to Allah and he told me to do this. I talked to Allah and he told me not to do this. You know what I'm saying? That's never the case. What was spoken to you was when that deity said, hey, here's the image. Here's the image that you want to do, but now you're going to go against it because you're already on a vibration to go against yourself. Because rather than just acknowledging, oh, I got this image because I have the ability, I didn't get permission yet. And because I didn't get permission yet, I can't act on it. Why? Why? Like I'm seriously asking why, because you have to start to consider that question. And now you're going to start considering that question from the law of the universe. The universal laws are going to happen 100% of the time. Your mind does not perceive no in the context and the permission and ability in the same way that you have been wired to make it, to believe that it is. My bad. I got distracted. My phone went off. When you constantly program yourself to not do anything that your mind sees and your heart desires, you now go into what can I do? What can I do that is in alignment with my attraction? You feel me? This is where rebellion comes into. Rebellion and self-sabotage come from the similar energy. Self-sabotage is when you go against yourself. Rebellion is when you go against the orders of authority, of what you deem as an authority figure. You feel me? When you have been calibrated only to be in a space where you are going to attract what somebody permits you to do, you'll never live your own life. This is where people pleasers come in. You feel me? A lot of motherfuckers be like, yo, I'm tired of being a people pleaser, and they don't know how to stop. Like, I used to say it, and I hear people say it all the time. They be like, motherfuckers just could have said no. No, they couldn't. Nobody knows how to say no, because no is not in alignment with no is not in alignment with what they're attracted to. Only yes is in alignment with what they're attracted to, because you heard this from a kid. If your parent says, hey, go do this, you can't say no. You feel me? Even if you want to. But then some people, even when they'll manipulate the yes out of you. You feel me? This is no shot towards, my upbringing or whatever the case may be. But a lot of us go through this. And it's something that when it happened to you for so long, then you want to do it. Speaking of my niece, like, it wasn't in our last link up when we was, hanging out and shit. But earlier, like when she was first born, when she was younger shit, I used to manipulate her in a way in which I'd be like, don't you want to do your uncle a favor? How many of us have heard that? You feel me? But one thing that I love, and my sister caught wind to it, cycle breakers and shit, she allows her daughter to say no. She allows her to say no. And she's gotten so good at saying it that, it doesn't come off disrespectful. No has never been disrespectful. However, people perceive it as you told somebody no, you're disrespecting them. When you tell an authority figure no, you're disrespecting them. No, it's just what it is. You feel me? So I would ask her something, but I would never ask her, would you mind doing this for me? Or can you do this for me? Or whatever the case may be. And I forgot what it was. It was a long time ago, but I asked her something. She was like, I said, don't you want to do your uncle a favor? She said, no. I said, don't you feel like doing your uncle a favor? She said, no. And I was like, okay. And then the feeling was, I had to step back, because the feeling was instantly go into that attack mode that I was always met with. What you mean, no? I don't want to do it. Like, don't ask the question in a way in which you don't want the right answer. You feel me? Fast forward. I was working at Wendy's one time, and one of my managers said, hey, don't you want to do X, Y, and Z for me? I said, no. He said, damn, okay, whatever then. I said, but I'll do it if you ask me. I said, you didn't ask the right question, so you got the wrong answer. You feel me? You didn't ask me, will I do this? I can't not do something, because, you feel me, you're my supervisor. I have to do it if you tell me to do the shit, bro. Like, I don't get it. But ask that question. Just ask me to do this or tell me to do this. I can't tell you no, motherfucker. But when you ask me, do you want to do this for me? Or can you do me a favor? Don't you want to do me a favor? No, I don't. I don't want to do you a favor. I don't, because there's no mutual benefit for a favor. There's no mutual benefit in what, like, just ask me straight up. You feel me? Me and my mom used to bump heads at that because she would, once I started getting older, she'd be like, don't you want to do me a favor? No. Don't you want to do this for your mama? No. But I'll do it if you ask me, can I do it? It's not that I won't do it. I just don't want to. There's two totally different things with that. Like, it's not that I won't do the shit. I just don't want to. And that's perfectly fine. That doesn't mean, like, motherfuckers don't want to go to work every day. That don't mean they're not going to work every day. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you constantly hear that, now you start to feel, a certain way as you get older. And, you know what I'm saying? Now you don't want to say no to people. Because damn, you're going to feel how I always felt when I heard no, when I tell you no. You feel me? And then when it gets to if it gets to a boiling point where it's just like, now you get into passive aggressive behaviors. I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it sloppily so you don't ask me to do it again. It's inspired action. What actions are you now inspired to do? When somebody that you don't want to do something for and there's something that you don't want to do, you're going to do it as if you don't want to do it. Which now goes, like I said, into the law of attraction and repulsion. Now your inspired action is now for repulsion. I don't want to do this, so I'm going to make sure you don't ask me to do it again. I'm going to purposely fuck it up. Speaking of Wendy's, when I first started working at Wendy's, I told the manager when he hired me, I said, look, bro, I want to work the grill. He was like, okay, but I need you to work every position. I said, man, I don't want to work every position, bro. I want to work the grill. I'll learn every position later, but I'm going to work the grill. That's all I want to do. I applied here so I can close the store and I can run the grill. This was like 2015, maybe just before I moved to Philly. So I was like, yo, I just want to work the grill, bro. That's it. So when I first got there, one of the managers and shit, she was like, yo, when we actually became cool, she was like, I couldn't stand you because I just thought you couldn't get the order taken right. And I was like, I was fucking up on purpose, right? She was like, what? I was fucking up on purpose. She was like, no, you won't. I said, yes, I was. I said, I told y'all I wanted to work the grill. And y'all chose to put me on register. I told y'all I didn't want to work register. I told y'all what I wanted to work. I told y'all I wanted to work the grill. So I couldn't, you feel me? Passive aggressive shit. Passive aggression develops when you can't be actively aggressive. But passive aggressive develops as a response and a reverberation from the law of inspired action. You're inspired now based off attraction and repulsion. If you don't want to do something, that means you are repelled from it. If you do want to do it, that means you're attracted to it. But when you don't want to do something, that inspired action kicks in, that law happens, you're going to do it in a way that you don't, that it's going to make sure a motherfucker don't want you to do it again. So, so we was talking and shit. She was like, nah, I don't believe. I said, look, how quick did it take me to get a grill? She said, damn, as soon as we put you on the grill, she said, you really, I said, I told y'all I did not want to work the register. Don't put me on the register. I'm telling y'all what I applied for. I'm telling y'all what I'm going to do, what I'm good at, what I feel comfortable doing. You feel me? It got so, and I was so fluid and so efficient at it because I wanted to do the shit that when the, who's above the general manager of the store, I guess the district manager, whatever, he would come and check on it. He was talking to me, said, you are very conscious of this grill. Like, he said, you always keep the food upstocked and you know when to drop stuff and nothing ever gets behind. He said, you know how to clean everything and you keep everything in a fluid motion. He said, you're very conscious of this. I said, because this is what I want to do. Not in the sense that it's something I want to do for the rest of my life or no shit like that, but I'm like, yo, I wanted to do this. This is the position that I applied for. This is what I'm telling you I want to do. So my inspiration is going to be inspired. So it's not whether I, want to do it or I'm going to get it done. And I'm going to get it done effectively because now I'm inspired to do this because the law of attraction is at play and this is what I want to do. This is what will manifest. Good quality work. Now, on the other hand, when I don't want to do the shit, you're not going to get good quality work out of me. Hence the register. I fucked up on purpose. Hey, I need a void. Oh my gosh, you gonna keep fucking up. I'm telling y'all I don't want to work this position. Y'all keep putting me up there. Because everybody got to know everything. Everybody don't got to know everything. You gonna teach me this, then I'm gonna go on the grill and I'm gonna stay on the grill because y'all gonna see how good I am at it. I don't feel like doing the other shit. You feel me? So it ties into where you now start to get, these are things that are programmed within us from a younger age. And sometimes we don't even know that we're doing it on a conscious level because it's so wired unconsciously. I'm repelled from this shit. I don't want to do this. So when you hear motherfuckers, they won't ask you, can you do this or will you do this? don't you want to do me a favor? Don't you want to, like, they use their status in your life or their position in your life to get the yes out of you. They don't, most of the yeses that we have are not yeses that we truly agree with. They're yeses that have been manipulated out of us because a motherfucking no, we would say no any other way. You feel me? It'd be like, yo, don't you want to do me a favor like this? Don't you want to do this? Like, people say favor. People use their word choices correctly to manipulate you into saying yes. But that's the law of inspired action at play. Because now it's putting you in a calibration to where I have to do this. I'm going to do this. You feel me? So tying it back to my niece, when she said no to me, I was like, okay. And just left it at that. Everybody was mad. Like, you can't tell your uncle. She can't tell her uncle no. She said no. I'm not going to violate that. For one, I'm not going to violate her upbringing as a whole from my sister. And she told her uncle no. I can get up. I'm very able-bodied to do the shit. You feel me? But when it's a trauma response, when you say no to somebody and you already know what's going to happen. You know you're going to get a whooping for it. And that comes back into some slavery shit, bro. Sis, all y'all, you feel me? That comes back into some slavery shit. Like, you couldn't tell the master no. And now black people, because we have been in this shit so long, we operate from an oppressive standpoint with our own people. You feel me? That's why I always say, like, you can't convince me that this shit has any goodness into it. The religion has any goodness into it, especially Christianity, when you're telling me that you spare the rod, you spoil the child, but you turn your cheek to your enemy. Your child is not your fucking enemy, but you'll beat your child. And your enemy gets a pass for disrespecting you. That don't fly in my world. That has never flown in my world, and I will never allow it to fly in my world. But at the same time, when you calibrate it to that, you have to eat it. You have to eat it. How many people and people wonder, like, why do you take your shit out on your kids when they come? Because I can't take it out. I got to turn my cheek to the other motherfuckers. I'm told that if I spare the rod, I spoil my child. I don't want my children spoiled, so I'm going to beat them. So now, what am I now programming them to be inspired with their actions with? You feel me? When you grow up in a culture where everybody yells, when you getting yelled at first thing in the morning, when you getting yelled at to do something, or it's not an imperative thing to do until you get yelled at, you'll take your time with shit. You feel me? Like, if somebody calmly says, do this, all right, I'll get it done. You didn't yell, so I'm already conditioned that there's no urgency of you not yelling. There's no importance of you not yelling because I'm used to you yelling. You feel me? Our culture is wired to that. Like a motherfucker. You feel me? You probably thinking back to some shit right now when you was a kid and you in the middle of a video game session or your favorite TV show ain't even gone to commercial yet. You feel me? And somebody, elder figure told you to do something. You had to stop what you're doing and get it done right then. And if you didn't, what happens? I know you heard me. And you still sitting down. Why ain't you like, come on, bro, I'm gonna get it done. It ain't like it's gonna hurt you if I do it in 3 minutes instead of 5. Do it in 5 minutes instead of 3. It's not gonna hurt you. But now it comes into that trickle down effect and that cycle, the generational curse tied into the law that is always going to be at play, because it's like, I never had the luxury of saying no and taking my time with it. I would get abused for that. Motherfuckers like, I got beat, I got whooped, or whatever the case may be. No, nigga, you got abused, homie. We got to start calling this shit for what it really is. I wasn't listening. So then when we wonder why, when motherfuckers say, well, how did a woman ended up in a relationship that was abusive and she couldn't leave? Nigga, she couldn't run away from home. She couldn't leave home. Like, this motherfucker told her to do something and she didn't listen. And I always wonder, like, when people were like, when women say, oh, I made him angry, or I did this, that, and a third. That's like, motherfuckers be shocked. Like, what you mean he shouldn't be? Like, low, nigga, that's her upbringing, bro. When you make somebody angry, you deserve to get whooped. You deserve to get beat. And it's like, because he's a peer is different. I'm not condoning domestic violence in any way, shape, or form. But I'm telling you how domestic violence is even established in the first fucking place. If you don't listen to me, this is what happens to you. What? It be shit that a motherfucker can do on their own. And I feel like, low key, this is something that, I just personally feel, within myself, that a lot of people have kids just so they can finally have somebody that won't tell them no. That can't tell them no. And that they can enforce if they say no. You remember when you was young, or if you would ask your parent for something, they'd be like, no. Why? Don't ask me why, because I said so. I just wanted to know why. Give me a reason why it can't be done, because are you telling me, and I don't even know if kids are really privy to that, are you telling me it's because it's not in my ability or because I don't have permission? Because again, with time, it gets to a point where I can't differentiate between the two. You feel me? Like in one breath, you'll tell your kid, oh, yo, you can't do this. But then another instant you say, yo, you got it. You can't have can't in your vocabulary. Yes, I can, nigga. You put it there. You put that shit there. So now that it's in my vocabulary and it's in my mind that I can't do something based on permission, now I tie that shit to my ability. What you think happens to my inspired action? You feel me? This is why fathers are important. This is why fathers are supposed to be in home. Masculine fathers, under the context of spiritual, mental, and physical embodiment of the essence of analysis and deconstruction. Because a father exposes your abilities. Your father exposes your ability because your ability has no feeling tied to it. Your permission is tied to feeling. Your father exposes your abilities, what you can and can't do. You feel me? Your mother exposes your permission of what you can and can't do. But all you hear is what you can and can't do, and you don't know how to differentiate between the two. So your law of inspired action is going to be fucked up, because now when you look at every other law that's in place so far, you have the correspondence, you have the law of attraction, you have the vibration, and you have the oneness. You don't know what you can and can't do. You feel me? This is why I'm big on, when they say train a child up in the way that they should go. Yes, in the way that they should go, in the way that the law of inspired action works in their life. Put them in a vibration and a correspondence and the law of attraction and repulsion so that they can do the right shit. No, we want our kids to do what we failed at. We want our kids to not embarrass us. That's it. That's it. Most of our upbringing in our culture, we didn't really learn shit. But we knew how not to embarrass a motherfucker. You feel me? But then when a repulsion comes in, we don't give a fuck about embarrassing you, because I'm not getting to do what I want. Oh, you a child? Like, that doesn't mean I'm not supposed to be respected as a human fucking being. But if we're not respected as a human fucking being, our inspired action is going to get disrespectful. Spinning it back and broadening this shit out. When I say black women are not protected because black boys are not respected, this is it. This is it. Why don't black men protect black women? Because there's no law, because the law of inspired action is at play. I'm not inspired to protect you. I'm not inspired to protect anything that constantly disrespects me. And I'm not saying all women disrespect men or whatever the case may be, or women should be in a space where but this is the inspired action. There's people that there's some men that are traumatized right now because they had sisters, and their sisters, I'm not saying me in particular. Shit, my mama had smoke for all of us. You feel me? And my daddy won't there. So, you feel me? It was all of us. But there's people that have grown up where it's like they watch their sisters not get a whooping while they got whoopings for shit. Oh, because you a boy, you can take it, you can handle it. Not from a grown-ass adult, bro. I'm a kid. You shouldn't be beating me like that. You feel what I'm saying? You shouldn't be beating me like that. But I know so many homies that that have sisters that, they traumatized because the parental figure, the authority figure will beat them and let their sisters get passes. Oh, because she's a girl. That don't mean shit. In my mind, that don't mean shit. Now I grow up and I'm like, yo, fuck that. Fuck these bitches, bro. It's easy. It's easy to get round up in misogyny through the law of inspired action. It's easy. Especially when a boy is not respected. Nigga, fuck y'all. Niggas don't respect me, so I don't give a fuck no more. So it's like, when the black woman is not protected, that is an inspired action at play. That is a law in the universe being at play. So when the dude's, I'm gonna mind my business, that ain't me. Ask a dude, he said, I'm not fighting for no random woman. I'm not doing nothing for no random woman. She's not my family, my immediate family, my mama, my sister, my cousins. It don't matter to me. The inspiration ain't there. The inspiration is not there. Because I'm not even wired to be in a vibration for that. I'm not in a space where I attract the life in which I attract the reality in which I do protect women. I'm repelled from the reality in which I protect women. That's different. That's different. So what do you think my inspired action is going to be? You can be getting choked out in front of your man. It's case in point. Case in point. I ain't seen a motherfucker get choked out in front of their man, but I'm on a subway. I mentioned this story a while back, but now it ties into this, so I can bring it back. I'm on a subway in Philly, and this couple is arguing, like black dude, black woman. They arguing like a motherfucker and shit. Like he cussing her out, calling her all kind of bitches and shit. Like all of it. I'm like, hey yo, bro, calm down, bro. You don't need to be on that shit, bro. Leave her alone. She chimes in, mind your fucking business. Okay. Okay, I mind my fucking business. He slapped her and they looked at me like I'm supposed to intervene. She told me to mind my fucking business. Now, as a man, you still should have did. No, I shouldn't have. No, I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have. I minded my fucking business. You feel what I'm saying? I minded my fucking business, but this goes into the inspired action. I don't have the inspiration anymore. You took my inspiration when you told me to mind my fucking business. The inspiration was there when I told him to calm the fuck down and chill the fuck out, leave her alone, bro. That's a woman and shit. And then you tell me, as the woman, mind your fucking business. This ain't got shit to do with you. Okay. Okay, it don't. It don't got shit to do with me. And I have to acknowledge that. It ain't got shit to do with me. You feel me? Now, I'm not saying this is the case in all facets and shit. And this to say, hey, bruh, just, don't protect any woman or whatever the case may be. But I'm putting into perspective a lot of the shit. It has to be inspired action for the law to manifest itself. It's not in me to do this. But it is in me. Don't get me wrong. It is in me to do this. Because like I said, when I was in like the second grade, I beat up this kid. He pulled some scissors on me after the fact, but we fought twice in like a 10-minute interval, because the first fight was because, he was messing with a girl. And I was like, yo, leave her alone, man. That's a girl or whatever the case may be, blah, blah, blah. And, we ended up scrapping out, dusting him off of that. And then the motherfucking, as I'm dusting him off the first time, the scissors fall out his pocket. When the scissors fall out his pocket, he pick them up like he want to cut me. So I dusted him off again, because, you feel me? But the principle in which the fight started was because he said something about her. He disrespected her, and I was like, nah, that shit ain't gonna fly. So it's in me to protect women. It's in me to be in that space with women. But at the same time, my inspiration goes away when you tell me no. When you tell me no not to do something, I can't violate your no. You said no. Now that goes back to how wired this programming is into what we're attracting and what we're repelled to. We're only attracted to the things that our attractions and our repulsions come from yeses and nos. So many of us have been wired to only move in a space in which we get permission. My ability was there. I didn't have the permission, so I listened to the permission. Now I get it seen. I can't believe you would do something like that. What you mean? What you mean? I got to show y'all how the law plays out, and I got to show y'all when I do it. I got to show y'all when it's active and when you know what I mean? It's already wired in me to protect women. I just have it. And it comes from, growing up with my sister. Like, I beat this dude up, man, because he ain't call my sister a bitch. And this is what I hate about the big homies that told me this shit, because they knew how I got down. They was like, yo, bro, such and such called your sister a bitch. All right, when I see him, it is what it is. They already knew how they knew how they like to see me get like that. He a real nigga, bro. That's my nigga, bro. That's my little nigga, bro. Blah, blah, blah. I hated that shit, but I love that shit at the same time, because, it toughened me up in a way, but at the same time, it put me in a lot of fucked up situations I ain't had to be in. Feel me? So I go and approach the dude, and I tell him, I asked him, you call my sister bitch? He said no. I was gonna leave it at that. The nigga said, and if I did, don't play me like that, bro. Cause now the law of attraction and repulsion and all that shit has to play. Now the inspired action is there. You just call me a bitch. Like if I walk away from this shit, yeah, nigga, he came up to me talking about some rah-rah and shit, talking about blah, blah, blah. And it's like, he ain't even do nothing. Nigga, now I gotta do something because I know how you gonna do. My vibration is always, nigga, if you walk away from this shit, now the nigga gonna play you like he ain't do, you feel me? So, as soon as he said, but let's pretend that I did. Bing! I stuck him. He fell off his bike. Fucked him up. I was whooping his ass. Then my homie jumped in. I ain't know we was gonna jump him. My intention wasn't to jump him and shit. And I felt bad because at that time, when I was fighting, I had to be like 12 years old. Yep, because I had that blue Quasar Clash bike. And I rode up on him. Never forget it. But I stuck off on him. And when he fell like that, for me, that was it. Like, we scrapped out and shit. He fell. That was it. But then my homie started. Like, that was the first time I ever seen a nigga get stomped out. I'm always about a fair one. Like, nigga, if you fall, get back up. Get back up. It ain't no, I'm not about to play you like that. I'm not trying to kill you. But then my homie was stomping on his head and everything. I'm like, yo, chill, bro. We don't need to get this violent. Like, it's okay. And then we caught him again and jumped him again and shit. And then after that, I ain't never jumped nobody again. And I was waiting on the karma. Low key, I'm still low key waiting on the karma to get jumped. I hate that I'm waiting on it, especially at this age, because I know it's gonna be bad. But I ain't had to jump him. Like, I already faded him on a one, and then my homie jumped in, and then I just returned the favor when we got back. But after that, I never jumped somebody again. I was always, yo, nigga, if you lose, and I told my homies that too. After that situation, when we started getting older, I said, yo, if I'm scrapping this nigga, it's gonna be a one-on-one fight. If I lose, y'all got to see me when we get back. If y'all jump in, y'all got to see me. Bro, I ain't gonna let you lose. Nah, fuck that. If I lose, let me lose, bro. I don't care about losing a fight, nigga, because I know my hand's still good. Like, fuck, it ain't like I just get beat up all the time, nigga. I know my hands is good, bro. I got my fair share of dubs, nigga. I got far more dubs than I got L's. You feel me? But it's like, don't jump in. Don't jump in. Like, you feel me? And when I told him, I was like, look, I'm not jumping in your fights. Now, if you getting jumped, nigga, oh, yes, please believe, nigga, we laying shit flat, nigga. Everything else is out the window, nigga. Let's go. But in the moment, if you just getting beat up, nigga, you just get beat up, bro. Go home, do some push-ups, spar again. We gonna train you. You're not gonna lose again. But if you lose, you lose. You feel me? It is what it is. We gonna shoot the fair one. That's how we rock, bro. That's how we always rock. But that's a part of the vibration that I was on. So my inspired action was never to, I'm not gonna jump a motherfucker, bro. No more. It was just that one time. You feel me? But the point was, call my sister bitch. And he didn't call her a bitch. But the sole fact that he was just like, yo, let's pretend that I did. Low key, I took that from him. I took that from him, yo. I used to say that shit all the time. Cause that next year, when I was in the 8th grade and shit, motherfucker was like, yo, he came up on your shit. We was in school. He was like, he said, hey Curtis, I heard you want to fight me. I said, I didn't, but let's pretend I did. Let's just pretend I did. No, I'm just saying hey, you heard and you ran up on me like you wanted to do something. So if I said yes, we would have fight. So let's pretend that I did. You feel me? It was like, nah, man, I was just saying, like, I was just asking because you feel me? They said, and I'm telling you no, but I'm saying let's pretend that I did, because I don't want you to walk away from this shit and feel like, yeah, I bitched him when I ran up on him. He said no. No, I didn't. I said no. True. But then I said, let's pretend I did. The no is now out the window. I want to inspire your action. I'm giving you permission now. The law of attraction says, let's do this shit. Do you really want to do it or not? You feel me? We ain't never scrapped, but it was what it was. You feel me? But that shit, like I said, I took that little thing from that little nugget, and that calibrated me. So when a motherfucker approached me on some shit, like, I heard you want to fight me, or I heard you want to see, nigga, let's pretend that I did. Let's pretend that I did. Like, let's create this whole scenario as if I did, and let's go from there. You feel me? I'm not gonna lie and say, yeah, I said it, nigga, what? It's like, no, let's pretend that I did. I didn't, because if I did, we would have scrapped a long, long time ago. But let's pretend that I did. Show me. I need you, bro, to show me what would happen if I did. Because I'm going to show you what would happen if I really wanted to scrap with you. But I need you to show me what would happen if I said yes to this. You feel me? You feel me? But I digress. Let me get back on topic. Let me get back on point. I'm still on topic, but let me just get back into the vein where I'm at. So the inspired action is always there. And again, it's tied to what you repel and what you attract. And you're going to do the necessary actions to make sure that you're in alignment with either your attraction or your repulsion. Now, here's where it gets kind of a little bit deeper and it gets a little bit better, because it's like your attraction and your repulsion work one-to-one. The very things you are attracting, you are repelling its antithesis. You are repelling its direct opposite simultaneously. So every action that you have, you feel me? Every inspired action that you have is going to align with, if it's aligning with your attraction, that means it's going to go against your repulsion. And if it's aligning with your repulsion, it's going to go against your attraction. You dig what I'm saying? So when you are in that space where you already vibrating to, this is what I attract, now you're going to, be in that space. When I was vibrating on the space of trying to be a real nigga, I started to attract that shit because I was doing the inspired actions to be a real nigga, and I was repelling the shit to be a square nigga and shit. But when real nigga shit started coming up, I said, you know what? I need to start repelling that shit, bro. I don't need to keep attracting this shit. I was watching this video on Reels and shit, and the motherfucker said, and this is what I talk about when I talk about fight or flight and not having the ability to flee or not wanting to flee, right? The guy was like, a lot of niggas is dead because they wouldn't run. You was inspired to run. Fight or flight response, nigga, you got a choice. You're inspired to do one of the two, and you choose not to run. Sometimes a lot of motherfuckers will be alive if they just ran. I ain't saying I ever ran, so I can't necessarily give this advice. I'll take an L before I run. I take an L before I flee. That's wired into my psychology. That's wired into my unconscious mind. That's wired to the things that I'm going to track. I will repel. I will run. I will fight before I flee. Now, that does not just apply to physical fighting. I will literally, before I have to walk away from some shit, I will go through the fight for it. Inspired action. I have been in relationships too long. I have been in circumstances and situations. I have got into some shit that I should not have been in because I wouldn't flee. Because the inspired action says, nigga, you in fight or flight response, bro. You better not fucking run. And like I said, this ain't just about physical fights, nigga. The relationship when I got cheated on, when my heart got broken and shit, nigga. My heart was never supposed to be broken in that situation. I was never supposed to let it go. I wouldn't flee. I wouldn't flee because I had wired myself to never be a bitch and run. That's how I internalized what fleeing was. That shit could save your fucking life. You ain't got to fight them all. You ain't got to fight every fight. You do not have to fight every fight. But when you think you got to fight every fight, you going to fight every motherfucking fight. Because it's the inspired action. A lot of people be looking at like, yo, why is this person so strong? Why is this person so resilient and shit? It ain't all of that. It's just the inspired action. I can't flee. I can't run. Because my sisters, I know y'all listening to this. I'm going to switch the gears a little bit. This is why y'all can't find a man. And I know it's like, nigga, how you going to go to that? Because listen to what I'm about to say next. That strong, independent woman, that is a vibration that you want. That strong, independent woman that doesn't need a man, that is a vibration that you want. What do you think you're going to attract and repel? In addition to that, what calibration do you think you now tied to inspired action? I'm inspired to act in a way that doesn't need a man. I'm inspired to act in a way that is strong and independent. Now you motherfucking in the shadows and shit. I just want somebody to take the burden away. I was talking to a woman one time and she was like, I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing at the situation. It's a situation, bro. It's just a situation. So we was talking and shit. And she said, I'm tired of driving. Sometimes I just want to be in a passenger seat. She was like, hell, I even want to be in the back seat. I said, but you still going to be strong and independent. You don't need a man, though. But I want somebody to carry my load for me. I don't want to be in this space where I'm always... But you won't stop vibrating at that and you won't move out of the law of inspired action. I didn't tell her that at the time because I was still learning these laws and these things like that. But I'm just using the situation at hand because it was, you know, why? Because I can't. And I told her I can't be with a strong, independent woman. I'm not saying you need to be submissive and helpless. Like, you still got to do shit. But I need you to understand that when you are calibrated to be a strong, independent woman, you're inspired action. You're inspired to be strong and independent. Even if that's not what you want to do, you're calibrated for that. See, that's the thing about the law of inspiration, the law of inspired action. It don't matter if you don't want to do it. You're inspired to do it. And you're inspired based off your calibration of what you attract and what you repel. So if you're the strong, independent woman, guess what you're not going to attract a strong and independent man. You're not going to attract a man who's going to actually function without a strong, you're not going to attract that. You're going to attract the man who is the antithesis. You're going to repel that man. You're going to repel the man who kills the strong, independent woman in you. You're not going to attract him. You feel me? But what you are going to attract is the man who provides the space for you to be strong and independent and not need him. The fuck? And you're going to bump heads with the man who allows you to take that back seat. And you want it. You want it based off your ability, based off the capabilities. You know you want it, but you won't have it because of permission. Because you won't be permitted to do so because you're going to get in your motherfucking sister circles and say, you don't need no nigga. I ain't 4 o'clock. What she say? 7:25 or some shit. I ain't got no nigga and no nigga got me. That's y'all shit. That's y'all shit. Y'all bumped that shit. And you wonder why your inspired action got you single. You ain't worried about no nigga and you ain't got no nigga and no nigga ain't got you. I don't think people pay attention to the depths of that last half of that part. I ain't got no nigga and no nigga ain't got me. And now you mad because I just want somebody to have me like I have everybody else. No, you can't. You're the strong, independent woman who don't need that shit. So guess what? You're not going to get that shit. So much so, you're going to be inspired to act in a way that makes sure you don't have that shit. My brothers, y'all ain't safe, nigga. The fuck? Y'all motherfuckers ain't safe. Ooh, I want a woman to be my peace, but I want a bad bitch. Whoa. Bad bitches ain't peaceful, nigga. Bad bitches bring chaos, my nigga. Nothing but fucking chaos. You want a bad bitch that brings you peace. No. No. Which means now, what do you have to do? You have to constantly be in inspired action to get a bad bitch. The bad bitches now have gone cuckoo. They off the whole other end now. They telling men, like, now they like, yo, I seen this video was like, why the young bulls ain't going to college and shit. And, you know, cause I want a bad bitch, and the bad bitch says she can't, I got to get this money now. I can't get the money that she needs legally. I'm about to crash out. Either I'm gonna be scamming niggas and shit. I gotta crash the fuck out in order to get the bad bitch. Until you get a bit, like, that's how I be knowing, like, niggas don't be really getting bad bitches, bro. Real shit. Niggas don't really be getting bad bitches. Niggas don't really be having bad bitches, bro. Because, I ain't gonna say they don't get them. You feel me? You haven't had a bad bitch at a young age. You wasn't in the field until you got older. Now you can afford a bad bitch. Now, like, I'm fortunate enough to get the bad bitches when they was young. You feel me? Not like I was young. I mean, I wasn't young myself, but the bad bitches that I had, we was all in high school together. We was in college together. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So it's like, nah, shorty, you're not about to get me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already had them. Early. So some of them never had them. But now it's like, yo, do you know what inspired action you have to have a bad bitch? I need a man that got 6 figures, this, that, and the third. He getting this money, and we blah, 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 and all that shit. Like, nigga, no, that's all right, nigga. Now you calibrated towards that, and that's your attraction. Now you want that bad bitch. What inspired action? That's what inspires your actions. A bad bitch. So it's not even registering to you that you a lick. Because this ain't your life. This is what you have permission to do. This ain't in your abilities, my nigga. This ain't in your abilities in any way, shape, or form. But you've always been told, get you, like, that common theme of I'm the savior shit. Both men and women do this shit. The strong, independent woman, she looks for a man that she could save. You feel me? The high value man looks for a woman he could save and all this shit. But no, you can't do that. Even that is a calibration. Like, when motherfuckers be like, I'm a high value man, I'm an alpha. Nigga, you know what inspired action has to come with doing shit like that, nigga? It ain't a life you want. It ain't a life you can sustain. If you was a beta, nigga, stay beta, bro. Don't try this alpha shit. This alpha shit is not for the weak. Like, y'all be thinking it's a physical. No, nigga, it's an essence that you gotta have to be an alpha, nigga. You gotta be a big dog to stomp with the big dogs. You feel me? Nigga, you a fucking poodle. Don't come over here with the pit bulls. Don't come over here with the Rottweilers and the Dobermans, nigga. Go back over there with the motherfucking poodles and the Shih Tzus and the fucking the Yorkshire Terriers, nigga. That's what you are, and it's okay. You know why? Respectfully, bitches like those shits too. They like the little poodles. They like the little dogs you can put in the handbags. They don't like big dogs for real, for real. They think they want a big dog till they get a big dog. All you keep hearing is get into the markets. But do you trade or do you invest? Should you do stocks, Forex, crypto, or NFTs? My personal answer is not a single one if you don't know how to read a chart. Without knowing how to read a chart, you end up giving all your money to those who do. Do you know what a candle is? Do you know the pocket of activity? Do you know the difference between market direction and market control? If you answer no at least once, you might want to learn how to read a chart first. Learning how to read a chart will let you know if you should trade or invest and if you should do stocks, Forex, crypto, and or NFTs. It will also let you know if this is even for you or not. So visit IamJustSeen.com to learn how to read charts with my Mastering the Market course, ebooks, and webinars today. The world is changing. The question is, will you adapt with it? You feel what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? That's the alpha shit. But now when you calibrate it to the inspiration and shit, now this is how this law fucks so many people up, because you're calibrated and you're wired to the vibration and all of this shit of this inspired action, but you're not built for the action. You're not built for the action that you have to continually do. It's not in you, bruh. It's not. Like, motherfuckers be like, yo, they get mad at the Pookies and the Ray Rays and shit. We were built for something totally different, my nigga. We were built for something totally different. Being a Pookie and being a Ray Ray was not just, the ladies man shit. Yeah, we got hoes, we got bitches and shit. But it wasn't just the bitches part, getting the bitches, nigga. It was the entire essence that we had to know how to fight. We had charisma. We had swag. We had all of that shit. We knew how to dress. There was a lot of shit that we knew how to do outside of just getting the bitch. You feel me? Respectfully. I'm using this for dramatic purposes. But our inspired action was deeper than that. You feel me? If you ain't got things, if you're not calibrated for the inspired action, you're going to get fucked up. This is why you see this is one that I seen so much when I was in college. When I first went to college, they said, my freshman year, when we doing orientations, they said, look around. They said the lady said by springtime, 30% of your peers, especially 30% of the women are going to have babies, are going to be pregnant. I was like, man, nah, cuz that's their first bit of freedom. That's their first bit of freedom. The inspired action was something that they already had. They, in their mind, they already wanted to do certain shit that they didn't have permission to do. You feel me? I was already off the porch. I was well off the porch by the time when I went to college and shit, they used to have blackout parties. You feel me? Blackout parties. They say, yeah, you get drunk until you black. I'm not going to no fucking blackout party. And if I do go, I'm not drinking till I black out. What the fuck? Who does that shit? Motherfuckers that ain't never drunk before. Motherfuckers that don't know the effects of what the fuck alcohol to do to you when it releases your inhibitions. I drank my first beer. Beer is fucking disgusting. I hate beer. But I drank my first beer when I was 13. You feel me? I got drunk and had off alcohol and shit when I was 15. I've been in the game early. I was fucked up. Told the fuck back, nigga. Man, shit. Fucked up. But that was the first time I ever felt like that. I've been high before. I started smoking weed when I was 11. You feel me? And I was actively getting high by 13. But you know what I'm saying? It's little shit like that. Y'all niggas just started this shit. I been had a team of bitches, respectfully. You feel me? I always had a starting five and one to come off the bench. Always. I always had a dream team, nigga. The fuck? Some motherfuckers didn't get that till they got to college. Some motherfuckers didn't get that until they, finally felt like something within themselves. I been had that shit, so I calmed the fuck down when I got older. This is one of the reasons why when people be like, yo, why was celibacy so easy for you? I wasn't refraining from sex. I wasn't celibate because I couldn't get it, nigga. The fuck? I wasn't celibate by permission. I was celibate by ability. Nigga, the fuck? Nobody was denying me the pussy. That was not happening. You feel what I'm saying? But I still had that inspired action to be celibate because I had recalibrated myself to be that. I was on the vibration of celibacy. I was on a correspondence of celibacy. I was in the oneness of celibacy. Therefore, I was going to attract things that allow me to be celibate. My actions were going to be things that align with being celibate. I didn't just keep the lustful desires and all of that other shit and then say, now I'm just going to abstain from it. No, nigga, because now all you thinking about is sex. I don't be thinking about sex. Because the inspired action doesn't allow me to. That's the law. Because I've already calibrated myself to the right vibration to where I can do the necessary actions that keep things. How I ended up writing books, how I ended up creating courses, how I ended up doing a podcast, how I ended up doing all of these things because I'm like, all right, cool. But the longer that I was celibate, the more that I was able to actually see what I really wanted. That's why I be telling y'all, man, bad bitches ain't what you think they are. You be thinking that, okay, I want it. You cannot marry a bad bitch, bro. She got too much with her. Bad bitches ain't just cute. They're hiding some shit. Real bad bitches, not the motherfuckers who, I'm a baddie too, because me and my girls is cute and this, that, and the third. No, I mean a real bad bitch who is equivalent to a real nigga, who's gone through the same traumas, who has a backstory of some, and is dealing with PTSD. Those are real bad bitches. You can't get those. You don't want no smoke with those. You feel me? The women that are thick as fuck and shit, and it's like that. You gotta deal with the hidden trauma that she has about always being lusted over. Chances are she was probably molested as a kid. You don't really want to deal with that bad bitch, dog. For real. It sound good on paper, nigga, but it's how she responded, how she responded in her inspired action is what developed her. When we have a statistic that says 60% of black women are sexually assaulted by the time they're 18, nigga, that's a problem. That's every other, nigga. That's just above every other. And now we live in a space where niggas don't even know that it's sexual assault. Niggas be like, I don't know nobody that did that shit. My circle of homies, all of my homegirls that are like, I'm not putting their business, like all of them have told me a story when they was molested or some shit. All of them. Now, this is what I'm talking about with the inspired action part, because some of them turned to bad bitches. Some of them turned gay. Some of them just didn't like it, but there's always a common theme. Okay, now this inspired action, is it going to attract me to sex? Or is it going to repel me to sex? Even deeper than that, is it going to attract me to men or is it going to repel me to men? We be looking at, oh, she got too many bodies. She's promiscuous. She did in a third. How is her how is her action being inspired? What attraction and repulsion is she tied to? Again, when we want to get to the nitty gritty of the shit, I ain't got time to be playing with y'all about, hyping y'all up and giving y'all the peaches and cream version of this shit. No, nigga, you need to see the real version of this shit, because it's a dark side to this motherfucker too. It's a dark side to this motherfucker, and these laws are always at play because we are calibrated into a space that makes us feel like this is okay. This is normal. Every bad bitch that I ever been with, every bad bitch that I knew, when we first started talking, oh yeah, she bad, this and the third. When that wall broke down, you see me. You see me for, well, how can I? Because my inspired action is to be able to put myself in a position where I can allow you to have that space to be comfortable. I need to know who the fuck I'm dealing with. That's why I tell people, I don't like the only thing I require of a woman is for her to be herself. That's the only thing that I'm attracted to. I don't need a representative. I don't need a mask. I need a full individual being. Because I need to know what you're ashamed of. I need to know what you're proud of. I need to know these things. If you have nothing that you're proud of, chances are you're ashamed of damn near everything that is in you. What is your inspiration going to be inspired out of that? What action, what are you going to be attracted to? Because now your attraction, this is when we go into the chakras and shit and the personal identity. Because if your personal identity is rooted in shame, nigga, every action, everything that you're attracted to, you're now inspired actions that tie to your shame. Go back into self-sabotage. Go back into self-sabotage. People be like, yo, I don't know why I fucked that up. You're programmed to fuck shit up. You're programmed to fuck that up. And you won't deal it. A lot of people, oh, I'm cursed or the devil busy. No. That's not none of that shit. You're now on a vibration where you're designed to damage yourself in every way, shape, or form. You're designed to fuck yourself up. So your inspired action is always going to be what you attract and what you repel. And it's going to work simultaneously. You're going to repel the shit and attract the shit on a one-on-one basis. Again, tying it to the independent woman and shit, even merging with the bad bitch. Bad bitch be like, I want a real nigga. Talk to a bad bitch for real and listen to the real niggas that she fucked with. Yeah, the motherfucker might have sold drugs. Chances are, if she was dealing with a real nigga, he might have sold drugs, ran the streets. But listen to how she says she interacted with this man. She know that nigga wasn't good for her. But she knew that she wasn't good for herself, bro. Real niggas got PTSD like a motherfucker. Bad bitches got PTSD like a motherfucker. Don't nobody want to talk about that part? Hell, some of the real niggas might have been touched and molested as a kid and shit, and they couldn't fight back. That's why they so violent fucking now. Ain't nobody gonna touch them. Ain't nobody gonna get that close to them. As a real nigga, I was never touched, molested, or anything like that. You feel me? But I grew up around trauma all the time. I grew up around so much trauma. I got PTSD from a whole different level of shit. You feel me? I at first absorbed PTSD at 17 months old when I got hit by a fucking car. Nigga, I'm paranoid as shit. Like, you feel me? My homies used to laugh at me in college and shit when we used to cross the street because I keep looking left and right. They were like, bruh, ain't no cars coming. I don't know that. In my mind, in my psyche, it's so wired, I can look and see a clear street. But still, in my mind, I'll say a car can pop up out of nowhere. Where the fuck did I get that from? Nigga, this shit ain't mad. I literally feel, I used to tell them, I'm like, nah, nigga, a car can pop up out of anywhere, nigga. They be like, yo, right, it ain't no fucking cars coming. It ain't just gonna pop up. I don't know, nigga. When I got hit when I was 17 months old, the bitch just popped up. It ain't really just pop up. It just so happened that these things aligned. He was driving down the street. I was chasing the ball. Boom, we met. But I got PTSD from that shit. I almost drowned when I was 12. I got PTSD from that shit. I almost drowned when I was 7, but I learned how to swim. So I got a little bit of PTSD from that shit because, nigga, when you fighting for your life, it's different. Everything is out the window. My soul had to kick in, my nigga. I didn't hear shit. I couldn't look at shit. I couldn't call for nobody. It was just get out of the water. I had to learn how to swim right then. And the only thing that kept me straight was that I had seen enough movies where people were swimming. I just copied what I saw in the movie. I was like, all right, you gotta lay your body straight, move your arms like this, and then kick your feet. And somehow it worked. I got out of the pool. When I almost drowned in the beach when I was 12, this was some freaky shit. Motherfucking, I'm just in the water and a sinkhole just happened to pop up in one spot. And my right foot got stuck in the sinkhole, but my left foot wasn't. That's how small the sinkhole was, but at the same time, how powerful the sinkhole was. Because my left foot was nowhere near the sinkhole, and I was able to push off the sand with my left foot, but my right foot kept getting pulled back into the sinkhole. I was traumatized like a motherfucker. PTSD like a motherfucker. You feel me? When I was 16, and motherfuckers tried to, they was about to kill me and my homies and shit. Off some bullshit, because we was beefing with some niggas and shit. And then, motherfucking, they made a phone call. Because one of my niggas and shit, motherfucker, had a BB gun and ran up on one of the niggas and they crew and they click and shit and was like, yo, when you see your man, tell him this what it is. Why would you do that, nigga? We got a BB gun. They got real ones. We got one shotgun at a house we got to get to, and they got one slug, nigga. How the fuck 3 of us gonna get the fuck home? When they started circling the block and shit, just kept riding around and shit, I was like, God damn, nigga. I got PTSD like a motherfucker, nigga. Niggas, like, I still think about that shit. I still think about what if they would have caught us. You feel me? I got a lot of trauma in this shit. I'm a real nigga for that. Don't nobody want to talk about that side of the real niggas. Yo, I'm a real. No, you're not. I can tell who's really like that. That's why when I went to college and shit, and motherfucking, I spazzed on this girl. I ain't spazzed on her. I spazzed to myself in response to her. And what happened was, something that I like to do. Now, granted, it was my fault why I ended up having to spaz on her, because I ain't have to do this shit. But something that I like to do is I open chips from the top when I eat them, but sometimes, because I was a kid when I started doing this shit, I like the sound of it. I don't know why I like the sound. I really can't tell you why. But I like squeezing the bottom of the bag and letting it pop. Letting it pop real loud. You feel me? So, I popped the bag. We in the calf and shit. No, we was in like the calf. We had not walked into the calf for the college yet, but we was in like the common area before you walk into the calf where like the subways and shit be at. So not like the underground subway, but like the food subway. So we sitting down eating and shit, me, a couple of friends and shit. And so I popped the bag and one girl, she jumped and said, and seen that, it was like, oh, y'all can't be playing with that, can't play like that. I'm from DC, because you feel me? I'm from DC, man. You can't be playing like that. We don't play. I said, you ain't. And I got mad because I'm like, nigga, if you really ain't like that, you really ain't like that. Because if you got scared from a chip bag popping, you ain't never heard a gun sound before, bro. Not for real. Not for real. Because even if you did interpret it as a bullet, as a gun and shit, you feel me? You should have dropped. You didn't even move. It's instinct. When you hear a gunshot, you get low, nigga. You sat there. So I'm getting mad. And I'm like, man, I'm about to go. They like, why you leaving? I said, cuz, man, I hate when motherfuckers do stupid shit like that, bro. Like, you reveal that you ain't really from that, but you trying to portray, like, I get it. We all at the HBCU, we all black, but everybody ain't that type of black. This is what I be talking about when I say black ain't monolithic. And we need to stop treating it like it is. Because when we treat black like it's monolithic and the only part that we want to do is the hood shit, we start missing out on what it is to be black, and we don't make it okay to be black in any other vein. You feel me? I'm like, yo, you ain't from that. You ain't from that. And I'm mad because I'm pissed off because I'm like, yo, I'm really from that. I've heard gunshots. I've heard machine guns fire. I heard shit like this. It don't sound like a fucking chip bag, my nigga. So don't get out here acting like you motherfucking bout that shit and you really like that shit when you ain't. You feel me? That shit pissed me off even when I think about it because I hate posers. I hate when people do that shit. It's okay not to be from the hood, bro. It's okay to not have PTSD. It is perfectly motherfucking fine. Why do you want to calibrate that shit and move on the law of inspired action according to that? And I'm glad that I said that because now it ushers into this. A lot of motherfuckers came to college. A lot of motherfuckers get into the streets or get into whatever they're going to get into, not realizing what puts niggas in the streets. You feel me? It is a vibration that motherfuckers are on when they have now moved into an inspired action. You ain't built for this shit. Motherfuckers is able to maneuver and survive the streets because they're built for the shit, bro. The inspired action kicks in because this is what they calibrated to. You feel what I'm saying? If you grew up in an affluent neighborhood, that is perfectly fine. It is okay. You feel what I'm saying? If you've never been in a fist fight, it is okay. My girlfriend in college and shit, she had never been in a fight, but I was gonna teach her how to fight. And it's not, and it wasn't on some shit like, you feel me? I felt like in So Frail 3, I was talking about a protector and provider. I said, as a protector and provider, you not only have to protect and provide for your family and your women and the people, you also have to teach them how to protect and provide for themselves as you would protect and provide for them. I'm not always going to be around. You feel me? So I got to teach you how to do what I would do if I was there. You feel what I'm saying? Type of shit I'm on, you wouldn't understand. Bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam. The type of shit I'm on, you wouldn't understand. Had to release some tension a little bit because I felt it getting a little tight. But this is the shit that I be saying. This is the law of inspired action. Some of y'all niggas ain't in that shit. Some motherfuckers ain't in that shit. Some of them motherfuckers are not aligned to this inspired action, but now because of the calibration and this is what I talked about with the Little Johnny shit. This is now the manifestation of Little Johnny. If I sit him in front of this TV and I program his imagery, every single day I'm gonna put him on a vibration, the correspondence, and attraction to think he's a real nigga. He ain't never experienced no real nigga shit. This is why I said I can't be no street nigga. Once them niggas was trying to kill us and shit, I said I could do the fighting. I could do the fighting. You can fight, we can fight all day long because we get to go home. But beef, I can't do beef. I can't. Cause I'm going home. I'm making it home, my nigga. I'm making it home, my nigga. I'm getting home. Like, I'm sorry. Like that's always been my thing. That's always been one of my philosophies. I have to get home. No matter where I'm at, no matter what it is that I'm going through, no matter how life is treating me, I have to get home. That's a survival tactic. That shows like I'm in a whole different vibration. It's like, and that's wired within me. I'm going to get home. I don't give a fuck what the problem is. I'm going to get home. You feel me? And I don't care who I got to go through to make it home. I'm getting home. And that's why I couldn't calibrate to the real nigga shit 100%. Because I said, nigga, I can't be no real nigga, bro. I can't be no real nigga, bro. I'm sorry. Y'all niggas can have that shit. I know what it take to be a real nigga. Real niggas got felonies. You feel me? Real niggas done prison time. I can't do it. When my niggas, when they used to come home and shit, and we used to, nigga, I done time, blah, 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 but I would listen to him, bro. Like, what happened to you in there? You not my nigga, bro. Like, you still my nigga, but you not who went in. And I know things change you because now you in a whole different calibration. You institutionalized. You's a whole different person, bro. Because you had to be calibrated to a different law of inspired action. You got to survive in this month. You got to get home. You got to come home. You feel me? And you don't know what a man has to go through in these motherfucking situations to get the fuck home. It's different. But it is a part of the law of inspired action. Niggas don't know what they ain't built for till it's time for that law to kick in. These first 4 laws are all spiritual and mental. Well, everything is about spiritual and mental side of it. But the law of attraction is when things start to manifest in your real world. Up until I said law of attraction, inspired action is when things start to manifest in your real world. Well, the law of attraction when they start to manifest, but then this is when things start to move in your world through the shit that you do on a regular basis. This is why when people say, when you out here in these streets, only thing is you're going to either end up dead or in jail because inspired action. These are the actions that you do are going to lead to one of these 2 outcomes. We'll discuss more about that when we get to the law of cause and effect and shit and the law of compensation. But the next law I think we got is transmutable energy. That's my favorite fucking law. If you're following the flow of these laws that we're discussing now, you'll see why law of transmutable energy is my favorite law. Because that law bounces off of the law of inspired action, which means that every action that you have to do, this one I get into the space when y'all hear me talk about on a universal level, on a spiritual level, there is no good and evil, bro. There's only benefit and detriment. And you don't find that out until you start to pay attention to the law of inspired action, as it relates to the law of transmutable energy. Because now your inspired actions, what am I attracted to? What I'm repel from? What things are going to be beneficial in my life? What things are detrimental? Ideally, you want to repel the things that are detrimental and you want to attract the things that are beneficial. However, you now start to calibrate what your inspired action is when you're attracting things that are detrimental for you and you're repelling things that are beneficial. I've had so many. I talk about the woman that broke my heart, and I talk about the women that I could have cheated on her with. I wouldn't have fucked up. I wouldn't have fucked down. I would have fucked up. Shit would have been justified if I would have walked away from that shit with some of the women that, you feel me? But my inspired action, I had something bigger in play. You feel me? Like I said, I forgot what episode I was talking about, but I was saying I was focused on the relationship and not the person. And the law of inspired action is what's going to show you, okay, don't try to do things for the benefit, but you act accordingly. You just act. That's it. You act according to you're inspired by what you're attracted to and what you're repelled from, and then you learn to act. And not act is in the form of performance, but you learn to have action, and now you observe your life. What things are beneficial? Don't give a fuck whether you like doing this shit or not. Don't give a fuck whether it makes you feel good or not. Pay attention to, is this shit really beneficial for me, or is this shit detrimental for me? Because I got to stop it. At some point, I'm going to have to stop it. Now my inspired action has to change because now I'm looking at, oh, this is how I keep the repulsions and the attractions going. You feel me? This is how I keep these repulsions and these attractions going. By my inspired action. But now I have to observe, this ain't beneficial. This shit feel good as hell, but it ain't beneficial. This shit feels bad as hell, but it's beneficial as fuck. Going to the gym, that is an inspired action that is bad as fuck. Because it's uncomfortable. It doesn't make you feel good, but it's beneficial for you. Because you will be good. You feel me? Pigging out, eating cakes and pies, that shit feels good as fuck, but it's detrimental for you. Inspired actions. Why are you inspired by these actions? You feel me? Why are you inspired by these actions? Nobody wants to talk about that part. And it's not even that nobody wants to talk about it. Don't nobody know to talk about the shit. Don't nobody know to talk about the shit. Because now it in order for you to thoroughly comprehend the laws of the universe, this is when you start to get into know thyself. This is why it's easier for motherfuckers to follow the 10 commandments than it is to actually understand the 12 laws of the universe. This is what it is to make them for people to follow a hadith than it is to actually understand the 12 laws of the universe. Because this is something that's telling me what I can tell another motherfucker to do. This is not accountability. This is why I fuck with the laws of Ma'at so much. The 42 tenets of Ma'at. Every tenet says I. It begins with I. This is what I. When you start telling yourself I enough, not reading something as you, because when you're reading something and you read it from the perspective of you know you're not talking to yourself. You know that what you're reading has it won't take root because it's not talking to you. It's what you're supposed to go tell another motherfucker. Why you think the Bible, the Gospels, like the gospel actually, as they said, it means the good news. Go share the gospel. You go tell a motherfucker what's in here. Don't apply the shit that's in here. You go tell a motherfucker about what's in here. So you can start converting motherfuckers so we can have more people in the cult. Sure. But you're going to use these commandments. You shouldn't kill somebody. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do this. And when it comes back to you, don't worry about me. Do as I say, not as I do. You feel me? I'm still a work in progress. Ain't no I'm still a work in progress when you start paying attention to the 12 laws of the universe. Because, nigga, this is all me. This is what my action is inspired to do. Because my vibration is like this. You feel me? Being a womanizer and shit, that is a vibration that you want. And you're going to correspond it and you're going to attract to the shit that can be you're going to attract to the women that can womanize and which you can womanize. Women be like, why do men always try to humble a woman? Because y'all ain't supposed to be arrogant. The fuck? Y'all supposed to be humble. That's what our religious text teaches. That's what everybody shows us on a regular basis, that women got to be humble. Because y'all are supposed to be submissive. Submissive women are humble women. Y'all can't have it both ways, my nigga. This is what I be trying to tell y'all. Y'all motherfuckers ain't submissive, bro. Women ain't submissive. They're forced into being submissive. So now guess what your inspired action is going to be? Women always talking about, oh, I feel uninspired. I feel like I lost myself. You submitted. Shut the fuck up. That's what you wanted to do. And you don't realize that naturally you're not supposed to be doing that shit. But your inspired action is already programmed to do that. So you're going to move in an attraction that allows you to be submissive. And you wonder why you can't find a good man. You can't find where are the men who are men? Where are the men who do this? Where are the men who do that? You tell me. Your inspired action leads you to the men that you don't even want. Vice versa. Men don't like submissive women. Y'all be thinking I'm bullshitting. You don't cheat on, when you cheat on your woman, you get you a perfect fucking example. And I'm mad that this motherfucker bounced back so well. Derrick Jackson had a submissive wife and he cheated on her. With what? The unleashed woman, not the submissive woman. He cheated on her with a bad bitch. A couple bad bitches, but he cheated on her with those. So when I tell women, y'all ain't naturally supposed to be submissive. And then this is what the point that I was making with that. Men don't like submissive women. This is why you don't never cheat on a woman who's submissive. I mean, you don't ever cheat with a submissive woman. That's stupid. You go cheat with the excitement. She gave me the 20% that I didn't get. 80% of you, the 80-20 rule and shit. The 80-20 rule now applies in the context of the inspired action is to generate 80% of the shit that ties me to a submissive woman. But I don't even realize that I don't like submissive women. I've been programmed to try to find a submissive woman. I don't really like that shit. We love the hoes. We love the hoes. Now, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. I beg to differ. It's a lot of hoes getting married. It's a lot of hoes getting married. Because what is marriage? Other than sex. See, I look at the ring and the wedding. It's like, oh, I performed and I behaved well. I was a submissive woman. I cooked, I cleaned. Shut the fuck up. Your inspired action was to be a submissive woman. So you're going to calibrate to everything that attracts the reality that allows you to be inspired by that action. But you miserable as fuck. You give up your dreams, your hopes, your goals, your aspirations and shit for fucking what? To be submissive? Because women ain't built for that. But now, because women ain't built for that, when you walk into their space to unleash them and shit, I can't do that. I don't have the permission to do that. So I don't even think I have the ability to do it. No, you got the ability. That's what the fuck you got to do. My thing is use your fucking abilities. You don't need permission from me. I'm not here to give you permission. But as a submissive woman, you think I am. I'm not here to give you no motherfucking permission. I'm here to unlock your motherfucking ass. I'm here to unlock your motherfucking ass. And this is one of the things that I started to pay attention to. And I'm really starting to come to terms with now as I understand this law of inspired action. It's like my relationships over the last couple of years didn't work because when they were working before, it was because I would find a submissive woman. Because it was like, now I just got to tolerate you. Like, what else do you do? What do you do? What can you bring? What can you bring to the table? I know that I don't say it, but I'm only saying it this one for the context. What do you bring to the table? And that is a very powerful statement, because when you asking what do you bring, what part of you is coming to this table? Not your accolades, not your rewards, and not all the shit that you quote unquote achieved. Nigga, what are you bringing to this table? Because when all that shit disappears and it goes away, like, for example, so many people got degrees that they ain't using. Is that what you're bringing to the table? Some shit that you can't use? Okay. How are we going to work in the future? We can't. Now I need to understand, what can I unlock you with? What can I unleash you to be? Because it's that unleashing that makes this shit work. Women ain't supposed to be submissive, bro. But now, when the law of vibration, the law of correspondence, the law of attraction all align and say, now I'm going to be in a space of deliberate action to now men are going to seek submissive women. Women are going to be submissive for men. And neither one of them realize that submission is not natural. Now I'm cheating on my lady because she got boring. Now she cheating on her man because she wants some excitement. When I got cheated on and shit, you feel me? I stopped bringing excitement to her. So she went with a hood nigga and shit that was going to bring excitement. She didn't like the excitement that she got. I told you, you ain't from the motherfucking hood, nigga. This shit different. It sound good, but motherfuckers like that electricity and shit. Motherfuckers like that. I got boring. I can admit that. But I also got religious. I got heavily religious. I started studying the Bible. I started reading and shit because of her. And that shit made me what it made me. You feel me? I was like, whatever, bro. It is what it is. But again, women don't like being submissive. Which is ultimately now tying in and sabotaging shit a little bit more. She sabotaged the relationship because she wasn't being unleashed. Now, was I helping her better herself? Yeah, I was. But at the same time, when a woman is submissive, I'm perfect the way that I am. That's what the fuck wrong with these motherfuckers now. These sister circles and shit, everybody that keeps talking to them, telling them, girl, you the prize. Ain't nothing wrong with you. These men got to come up to where you at. No, they don't. Some of these men ain't even in the league that y'all even thinking about. And I'm saying this, and I'm going to say this right now, and it's going to come off very arrogant, but guess what? I don't give a fuck. This is the law. I'm telling y'all about the law. Just off these 5 laws, I'm standing on business with what the fuck I'm talking about. The 5 that we're going through. Oneness, vibration, correspondence, attraction, and inspired action. A lot of women ain't even in my league, but they be trying to come in my league. Like, you can't play my game. You just can't. And it's cool. I can get you to play. But at the same time, I've had those same women, I've had them tell me on a regular basis on multiple occasions. Shit like, you're the perfect man that a woman submit to. I don't like submissive women. Sorry. It's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. It is not going to work. I'll be it ain't going to do me no good. I don't like submissive women. I don't. And they be thinking that because I'm an ideal person to be submitted to, that I want submission. I don't want you to. No, you're my equal, bro. I don't want no fucking cheerleader. I need a motherfucker who I can play with in the finals. You feel what I'm saying? Jordan didn't win his rings because the Bulls girls. Jordan won his rings because he had Pippen and Rodman with him. Cool coach, and he had a squad. He had motherfuckers with him. I need a Pippen. Or I can be Pippen and you could be Jordan. We can interchange, like, you feel me? Because motherfuckers be like, you know, you can bet your ass if Jordan dropped 30, Pippen gonna give you 25. You feel me? Like, don't downplay Pippen. Like, he, you know what I'm saying? Shaq and Kobe. Don't downplay the second, what you consider the second fiddle, nigga. Like, no, nigga, don't play that. But I need that in my space. I don't need a cheerleader, bro. What the fuck is that gonna do for me? That doesn't help me win the game. You feel me? That doesn't help me win the game. So this is what I'm saying. We need to be more collaborative, but we are now wired to not be collaborative, to be competitive. Now I have to get with somebody who I'm going to be able to compete in the world with. Fuck that. The world can't fuck with me. Fuck the world. You feel me? Fuck the world. But you got to be submissive in the shit. And now I got to look for a woman to be submissive with for 60 fucking years, nigga. I don't even like submissive women. I got to be with you for 60 years. What do you think that's going to do to me? This goes back to the episode that I had earlier in the season about passion. Passion, nigga. A submissive woman will kill your fucking passion. You don't even know your passion is dead because you got a submissive woman who do everything you say. She, you feel me? She bends at your will and shit. Why do you need that? For your ego. I don't need that for my ego. My ego is invigorated. My ego is stroked. My ego is grown when I see a woman being her best self. That shit sexy to me. Like, that shit turns me the fuck on. I put a baby in you right motherfucker now when I know that you doing your necessary shit to be the best version of you, because I'm already me. Now, when you are you, now we can come together and make some shit. If you just gonna follow my motherfucking lead, I can go anywhere and you're gonna follow. I need to know we going to the same place. Because now when we get to the destination, this ain't the destination you supposed to be, but you here. You feel me? You here, and now I gotta, what do I have to do? I have to make sure that I keep you 100%, 100% locked in, and you start taking me away from what the fuck I was supposed to be doing to worry about you. But if you're supposed to be at the destination with me, I don't necessarily have to worry about you because I know that you're supposed to be here. You're able to navigate in this world. You feel what I'm saying? In the heat of danger, when it's time to, if you got to run away from something, and the motherfucker that you running away with don't know where they going, your focus is not going to be on getting away. It's going to be making sure that you don't lose this motherfucker. You'll never get away. I need a motherfucker who knows the exits of the door. Like, I need to know a motherfucker who knows where the car is parked. I need to know this shit. I don't need a motherfucker who's going to freeze up. That's a submissive person. That's a submissive woman. Like, what the fuck are you doing? But an unleashed woman, I'm supposed to be here too. So when it comes to a point where I'm not supposed to be here, now I go. So now this comes into the inspired action, because now I know, because you're at this destination with me, your actions align with this shit. Your actions are in alignment with what the fuck I am. That's why we're here at the same place, because the law of attraction is now at play, and now our inspired action has allowed us to meet each other. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to start trying to bring it on home and wrap this motherfucker on up. This is why relationships fail. We don't know we don't know what attraction really is. We don't know attraction under the law, right? We know interest. We're interested in motherfuckers and we think we're attracted to them. No, you're interested in the motherfucker. You like the motherfucker. You're interested. That has nothing to do with the law that is guaranteed to happen 100% of the time. When you're interested in something, there is no inspired action behind it. There's only inspired action between attraction and repulsion. You can be interested in some shit that is not in alignment with the inspired action. You can be uninterested in some shit that is in alignment with your inspired action. The problem is, because a lot of motherfuckers don't know this shit, they take their interest and they run with it. I'm interested in this. This person is interesting. No, this person is something that you're not used to. This person is now in alignment with what you're already repelling. Not what you're attracted to. It's what you're repelling, and now you're in a space because of the societal standards of what you can and can't do. You got to realize, oh, I have permission to involve myself with what I'm interested in, but I have no permission, and I don't even know my abilities to fuck with what I'm attracted to. Now let's bring in the other laws, and as it applies to this, when we looking at relationships and shit, people be like, why do relationships not work? Nigga, they're not supposed to. I don't know why y'all don't get that shit. According to just from these 5 laws, we already see that relationships are not designed to work. Women are not naturally submissive. Men don't like submissive women. You feel me? But we're now put in a space, according to divine oneness, from the one come the all, therefore the all is the one. We believe that we're supposed to be, when we're married or connected under our deity, or whatever the case may be, women have to take the back seat, men have to take the front. Men are the head, women are the neck, blah, blah, blah. Call it whatever the fuck you want. I need another head with me, because 2 heads are better than one. I don't need a fucking another neck. I got a neck. The fuck? If I'm the head, I already have a neck. Why do I need another neck? Think about this shit. If I'm the head, I got a neck, but why would I want a neck that doesn't have a head? The fuck is that neck gonna do for me? You feel what I'm saying? But that's the law of divine oneness. They manipulated the oneness that you're supposed to have. You feel me? So now you're putting on a vibration in which the frequency that you constantly calibrate to is for a relationship in which women submit, men are whatever. You feel me? The leaders, I guess. But niggas ain't even got leadership skills. A leader is supposed to bring the best out of a motherfucker. Y'all just want to be in the front. That's why you need a submissive woman. I don't mind bringing the best out of you, because now if I'm really going to lead you for real, I bring the best out of you. I make you your absolute best. But if I'm going to be intimidated by that shit, like I tell motherfuckers all the time, I ain't worried about nobody taking a woman from me. If you can take a woman from me, bro, that's because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. You feel me? Now, I get it. Well, nigga, didn't you get cheated on by a woman that you brought the best out of? I did. And that's why she can't find, I ain't gonna say she can't find a man, because I ain't say but that's why she went through the shit that she went through. That's why she went through the shit that she went through. Because she wasn't attracted to it. She wasn't attracted to me. She was interested in me, bro. I didn't know that shit. I was too young to even, I hadn't even gone over the first law. I didn't know nothing about laws of the universe and none of that shit. But when you're already wired to be submissive, being unleashed, it fucks with you. Her grades were bad. Like when I actually unleashed her and she started getting good grades and she was able to graduate early and shit, she didn't know how to deal with that. It gave her ego. It gave her a huge ego. When I say a huge ego, like her shit was different. Like, nigga, you got the confidence to cheat on a motherfucker who brought you out of nothing. So now when you cheated on the motherfucker and shit, and now you scarred with that for life. Because contrary to what it is, like when motherfucker, like, even though that did happen, I'm her standard. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. This is why I be telling niggas and shit like, yo, if you take a woman from me and shit, or if you get the woman after I had her and shit, like, you're welcome. You're welcome. Now, when you telling her she doing too much and this, that, and the third, yeah, I set that standard, nigga. You got some shit to meet. She ain't gonna let you go. She is not gonna go below that. At the time, did she know she was going below that? No. I think she did. Because I was demanding. I was doing too much. I've had so many women in my life telling me, you're too hard on me. I'm not too hard on me. You want to be submissive, and I don't fuck with submissive women. So if you want to be in my space, you got to be unleashed, baby. It's that simple for me. I'm not one of these motherfuckers who is gonna be bound by needing a submissive woman. I don't. I'm secure in myself. I'm well aware of who I am, and I'm well aware of what I'm supposed to be doing in this world. If you're not in alignment with that, and if I can't bring that out of you, I can't fuck with you. You feel me? So now when you already on that vibration, now what do you think your life has to correspond with? Everything that is as above, so below. You're now going to start to create a world that revolves around submission. So now everything that you attract and you repel is going to be tied to that. If I'm able, like, she was able to submit to that man. She wasn't able to submit to me. I wouldn't let her. But then she started to see, damn, you show me my power. This nigga is killing my power. Yeah, I know. But you can't come back here. You can't come back here. You just got to hope you can find another motherfucker like me who can bring the power out or whatever. But do your thing, shorty. You feel me? I was talking to another woman who was like, you know, she told me she's older than me, but she was like, at the time I was young and dumb, but you're older than me. Respectfully, if you're listening, I don't know, but if you heard this, you can't, real nigga G shit, bro. You can't use the young and dumb excuse on me when you're older than me. That's something I should have been saying to you. I was young and dumb. No, you were older than me. You had me by like 2 or 3 years. You're older than me. You can't use the young and dumb as an excuse. You can when you're submissive, though. I was bringing the best out of her. And she knew I was bringing the best out of her. And it intimidated her. It scared her. Like I say, you're either going to be inspired or you're going to be intimidated by me. Law of inspired action. My action is going to... Y'all heard that poem that says... I think it's some Mary Williamson or some shit like that, where it's like, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, but we are powerful beyond measure. I don't know the whole thing. I just know a certain couple of little parts and shit. One of the parts was, it is when we shine our light, we are all meant to shine as children do. And when we shine our light, we unconsciously give people the permission to shine their light too. This little light of mine, I'm going to let that motherfucker shine. Now, when people come into my space, it's like, damn, you got to get brighter. There is no submission over here. We're not just relying on my light. You turn your shit up so we can see more, nigga. The fuck? If I got a mag light and you walking with me, we can only see from my stream of vision. Now you got a mag light too. Guess what? We got more fucking light, my nigga. Turn your shit on. The fuck? But you needed some batteries and shit. Okay, cool. Let's figure out how we gonna get some batteries and shit. Like, we not just gonna rely on my light. That's energy vamps. You feel me? Pun intended. But from there you go into the law of attraction. Now, from the law of correspondence is going to determine what you're attracted to. So now your attraction is not your interest. Now, everybody has told you need to get you a man that's like this. Dudes, you had to tell you, get you a woman who's going to be this, that, and the third, who's going to be quiet. I don't want a woman who's just going to be quiet and listen to everything that I say. That doesn't let me think. That doesn't allow me to broaden my thought process. That allows me to stay in a small pond. I don't like being a big fish in a small pond. I like being a small fish in the ocean. I can grow more in the ocean. I'm not growing anymore if I stay in the pond. But you want me to stay in a fucking pond? Fuck you. Fuck you. No, fuck that. That shit don't work for me. But that's what we're wired to be attracted to, because we don't understand the laws of attraction. But somebody calibrated us to the law of attraction to give us what we're attracted to. You feel me? Every day you're going to get on social media, look at a motherfucker with his physique or whatever the case may be, but you're not paying attention to the morals. You're not paying attention to the substance. There's so many women in like, a lot of niggas be like, you feel me? With my social media has always been women dominant. Even my metrics, like for my books, my courses, my podcast, it's more women listening than men. This isn't to say that I cater to the women or whatever the case may be, but women are attracted to me. Not just physically. But women don't realize that they're attracted to me according to the law. They're not just interested. There's something more. And what I show, it brings, oh, damn, he is somebody that I know. But you're not going to be willing to change everything that has to come with being with a motherfucker like me. I'm cool with that. But understand, when I unleash you and shit, the sad part about the unleashing is that I had put you on a new vibration. I put you in a new correspondence, and I give you a new attraction. Now your inspired action is what's going to change. That's what fucks a lot of motherfuckers up, and they can't go to that next level because my inspired action, I'm doing different things. I'm not just changing. Now my actions are different. The people around you who are already on a certain vibration, they're not going to allow you to do those actions comfortably. They're just not. They're going to look at you like, oh, you changing. No, I'm not changing. I'm vibrating differently. I'm unleashing myself. Finally. And I'm allowing myself to be, and I'm doing the inspired action that now is aligned with what I'm attracted to and not what I'm repelled from. It's aligned with my abilities and not my permission. You feel what I'm saying? Like when I left med school, motherfuckers thought like I needed their permission to do so. Nigga, no. I didn't go for your permission. You feel me? When I started day trading, learning how to day trade, I didn't do none of this shit for your permission. I don't give a fuck how you feel about what I've done and what I'm doing. I didn't do none of this shit for you. This is solely for what I know I'm supposed to be doing here. Now here's where it gets fucked up. Because damn, and I ain't even talk about music one time. Well, I guess it didn't have to flow that way. But when it comes to, I'm going to mention it just because I said it. It'll probably be towards the end, I guess, when it's really done. But when that inspired action kicks in and shit, and it comes to the relationship perspective of it all, nobody realizes that I'm not attracted to what I've been programmed to be attracted to. Because I don't know that the attraction is magnified and amplified by what I repetitively do. This is what they say. Excellence is something that you do. Well, you have to be on a vibration to attract excellence. Some motherfuckers ain't even on that vibration. So you are what you repetitively do, being that you're going to constantly attract and stay in the mode of attraction to be inspired by doing certain actions. This when it comes to the attraction and repulsion, because now it's like, is this beneficial or detrimental for my life? Motherfuckers just want good and evil. I'm going to stay away from the evil and I'm only going to do good. I'm not saying do evil shit. But what I'm saying is when you reduce it just to that basic mundane level of thought instead of detriment and benefit, you'll never see what's bad and good for you. I mean, you'll never see what's beneficial and detrimental for the sake of only wanting to go towards what's good for you. And most of what's good for you, you're not attracted to. Ain't that some shit? But the law of attraction at play is now putting you in a space where it's like, I want more. This is why motherfuckers be like, yo, why do I have an insatiable appetite? Why do I want to keep going? Because you're not attracted to the shit. This is why you need more. This is why a motherfucker has to give you every ounce of themselves, and because you don't have any of yourself in the motherfucking party. You feel what I'm saying? Your inspired action is trash. Because the actions that you're inspired to do completely go against you. They go against everything you stand for. So now when you get in this relationship with this person, you follow in, oh, we both go to church, we both do this, we both do that, we both do this. You don't realize I am aligned with what they told me to be alignment with. I'm vibrating on this space. So now I'm going to attract only what I can vibrate and correspond with. I am not going to attract what brings the best out of me. What brings my truer self out. I'm going to let that little motherfucker hide dormant. Motherfuckers is out here talking about they want lifelong relationships and they still got to heal their inner child. The fuck? Every time I'm healing my inner child by doing shit, like when you're starting to see a lot of the shit that your inner child, a lot of the shit that you do with your inner child is an alignment. It's supposed to be in alignment with the law of inspired action. Your inner child is not a kid, bro. Your inner child is your ego. It is the healthy version of your ego. That's it. That's it. Your inner child is the healthy version of your motherfucking ego. But then when people say, oh, yo, you got an ego, you got ego issues, you got a bad ego, you got a fucked up ego. You wonder why? You wonder why? Because the law of attraction is at play and you're been attracted to some shit that you're not attracted to. Your ego would tell you that all the time. But now because my ego is here, I'm going to be spiteful. I got to do shit to make this work in my favor as best as possible. So all of my inspired actions are going to be doing what? What gives me praise? What makes motherfuckers appreciate me, clap for me and shit like that? You don't need claps when you have inspired action because you're moving along with what you're actually attracted to. Some motherfuckers quit and give up right now because a motherfucker that they wanted to give them praise, a motherfucker that wanted is not giving it to them. You don't need that shit. Why? But you're calibrated to that shit. Have a ceremony for me. Have this, have that. Like, no, nigga, that's what the fuck why you want a reward for what you're supposed to be doing? The fuck? When I was in undergrad and shit, I had a professor tell me, she was like, it's time for you to start your portfolio. You got any awards and everything? And I was like, no, I throw that stuff away. And she was like, you do what? I said, I throw it away. She said, why? Because it's what I'm supposed to do. I'll do it again. No, you're supposed to keep it. You build a portfolio. You build this up so people can see, what you do. It's like if they can't listen and hear it from my words and see my actions and play, they don't need to see it. Like the whole idea of a resume, all of that shit, it don't mean shit. This is why when you do get your resume and shit, they want to see what you can do. Because again, inspired action. You feel me? Now when you get in there and shit and you realize, oh shit, this ain't even a job for me. This ain't even what I wanted to do. This ain't even, and they're like, you're not a good fit for the company or whatever the case may be, because your action, regardless of how you looked on paper, your deliberate action and your inspired action is not what is attracted to you. But this is why they put the monetary value on it. If money did not exist, you will find out that you're not attracted to half the shit that you're involved with. If there was no money involved with a lot of shit, you would see that you're not inspired. You have no inspired action. For a lot of us, the inspiration is incentive. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna really wrap it up. We're misinterpreting the law of inspired action because we view it as incentivized action. This is why money is able to work the way that it works. Everybody talking about, you sold your soul. Everybody sold their soul. When your actions are incentivized, you sold your soul, nigga. You're not doing shit before the money. Like when you wake up and you say, okay, I'm going to go to work. Why? Because I got to get this check. Why? So I can pay my bills, so I can do this. You're not doing it because you want to do it because this is really what you like. If it were what you really like, you wouldn't complain when you leave work. You wouldn't have problems at work. You would like your job. You would like the people at your job. Why? Because you will be 100% attracted to everything that you're involved with. And your inspired action will be there. You don't like the motherfuckers you work with. So you have incentivized action, not inspired action. That is incentivized action is not a law. It's a theory. Which means it can be tested and not hold true. Well, theories are usually proven, but they're not law still. But a theory can at some point, the theory can be debunked. You feel what I'm saying? So when we looking at what laws really are and how these laws are really playing out, that law of inspired action, because of the way in which they calibrated us, they made us, it's still inspired action, but they made us only be incentivized for it. So we think we're inspired by this, like, motherfucker, I'm getting this paper, I'm getting this money, until the money is good until you realize how much time you're losing. How much time you don't have. Like, think about that logic. They manipulated it so well that motherfuckers are comfortable saying, yo, I'll work 40 years straight to have 11 years of life left. Now they done bumped it up because they need more labor. They say, hey, people are living longer so we can let them work till 70. Nigga, what? For the next 100 years, watch. Niggas gonna be retiring at 70. And they gonna think that's okay. Oh, because we live longer. So you still only gonna get the 11 years to enjoy the shit? The fuck does that mean? Because you've already been aligned to it. We control your inspired action. We've made you attracted to certain things. So now I'm gonna get these little trinkets. I'm gonna get my car. I'm gonna get my house. I'm gonna have this. Then I'm gonna have all of this material shit because it's incentivized action now. It's not inspired action. Take away that money, would you still do it? Fuck no. Fuck no. There's very rare and there are very few people, few and far in between, who would do the work that they do right now in full capacity for no money. None. And it's and when you have been so programmed and wired to believe that you're supposed to, you fuck your whole shit up, bro. Because this law of inspired action is going to work 100% of the time. But it's only going to work based on what the calibration is of what you're attracted to. And your attraction is not what you like and don't like. Your attraction is a vibration that you repetitively stay on. Bad habits are attractions, my nigga. Good habits are attractions. When you are not repelling the shit that is bad for you, it don't matter. You're going to do the inspired action. Your inspiration is now going to be, you're going to do the inspired action that keeps that attraction alive. You feel what I'm saying? This shit ain't, these laws are not for play. But because motherfuckers don't know the laws and shit, they can't figure out why the fuck this shit works the way it works so well. This is a system. They build these systems off these 12 laws and the star and off the cycles of the universe. Not only the 12 laws of the universe, but the actual solar cycles of the universe. You feel me? This is why trading and investing, and this is why these things are divided up, and they move according to the moon. The monthly cycles, they move according to the moons. Niggas buy and sell according to the moons. You don't believe me? Look up. You're gonna have to how you would have to do it is you would have to set it up on a monthly chart and actually break it down like that by the weeks or whatever. You have to use bigger time frames, but you would see that for the most part they buy on new moons and they sell on full moons. Trading happens in between that. That ain't no accident, my nigga. That ain't no accident, my nigga. I'm laughing because it's like, no, nobody see this shit. And you can't tell them because it's like, I don't believe that. You ain't got to believe it, nigga. I understand what the fuck is happening. I understand these 12 laws and I've learned how to use them and I learned how they're being used on us and shit as humans, my nigga, as fucking humans. So now everybody's law of inspired action is like, you're not even inspired by the shit that you have been inspired to act on. But that shows you the power of what inspiration really is. Inspiration isn't something that you either want to, like, it's not motivation. It's not something that you have to feel. It is what it is. Inspiration is always going to be there when you base things off of what you're attracted to. And when you figure out, and you don't know what you're attracted to until you have a correspondence, and you don't have a correspondence until it's a vibration, until you have mastered the oneness and understand that from the one come the all, therefore the all is the one. So the actions that you are inspired to do that bring shit into your reality have to be in control by you. But they're not. They're motherfucking not. They're in control by the motherfuckers that need your inspired action, that need your energy, they need your soul to make sure that their missions are complete and their prophecies are fulfilled for themselves. And don't forget to check out Polycafe Clothing, formerly Just Scenes merch. Get all of your intricate designs crafted specifically for the melanated being to develop a positive imagery within self and to have a little bit of fun in the process. From the peace, love, knowledge, and freedom to the dead horses and water designs, all of the styles are crafted for the imagery to make you feel as you're supposed to feel. Because as I always say, the best way to fit in is to stand out. And what better way to stand out than with your exclusive styles from Polycafe Clothing. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end it there. That's the law of inspired action. This law alley-oops into my favorite law so much. And I think the law of transmutable energy piggybacks off the law of inspired action because it's like, this is when I was talking about the benefit and the detriment, right? The law of inspired action is going to lead to those results. Yeah, we still got the cause and effect, and we got the law of cause and effect and the law of compensation later, but that hasn't come up yet. So I'm not going too heavy in that. But the next law is the law of transmutable energy. When you're not able to transmute energy until you know what actions are generating certain energies. Do you feel me? The only energies that are, this is what I say, there's only two emotions, joy and pain, but the only energies that we exhibit come from detriment or benefit. You see what I'm saying? So when you have an inspired action based off of your attraction, you're going to know, okay, what am I doing in my life that is beneficial and what am I doing that's detrimental? You can't look and saying what's working and what's not working. You can't do that. Because there's things that are working that are still detrimental. There's things that are not working that are very beneficial for you. You just haven't figured out how they work yet. This is how you need to understand, okay, what is being beneficial? What is detrimental? Then you have to figure out why these things, the law of inspired action is going to let you know what's beneficial and detrimental, why is beneficial and detrimental, how is beneficial and detrimental. When you figure out, when you get, and well, to what extent, basically who, what, when, where, why, how, and to what extent. my inspired action is going to be tied to that, because then that's going to let me know what I'm really attracted to. And it's going to let me know what I'm really repelling. If I'm not getting the life that I want, it's because I'm not attracted to it. And if I'm not attracted to it, I'm not completing the necessary actions to get me what I want. But by proxy, that means that I am repelling the life that I actually want to attract the life that I don't. What sense does that make? It makes a lot of fucking sense when you understand that the 12 laws don't give a fuck about your motherfucking feelings. It gives a fuck about what you vibrating to and what you're calibrated to and what you're going to attract and repel. This is why I talk about when I talk about the chakras, and I say the throat chakra is blocked by lies that you hear and lies that you tell, whether you know it's a lie or not. This is why the brow chakra is blocked by illusion. Illusion is the illusion is the inability to see correctly. Now we pair those two things with the law of the universe, the law of inspired action, and you see, that's why these things are happening. But I don't even know that what I'm doing is not working for my life. Because I'm incentivized, I'm getting paid for the shit, but I'm miserable, I'm broken, I'm hurt, I'm tired all the motherfucking time. Because you have incentivized action, not inspired action. Incentivized action is not the law. Inspired action is the law, because you're going to keep doing it. Now, this is not to say go work for free. No, motherfucker, you still going to get paid. That's where the law of compensation comes in. But do you see why you're incentivized first before you even get to the law of compensation? The law of compensation, I want to say, is like number 9 or some shit like that. We're at law number 5 right now. We're at law number 5. Now, like Wu-Tang, these laws still work independently. However, they still work together and they build off of each other. And then it creates a synergy, because once we get to law 12, and then once we get to law 12, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say law 12 is the law of gender. That's duality. What do we start with? Oneness. When you get to the law of gender, now you bring it back into the oneness. So all of these things, it's a cycle, and it runs together through each law. You dig what I'm saying? But when you're not privy to what the fuck is happening to you, when you're not privy to what the fuck is really involved in this shit, you're gonna miss it, my guy, my gal. Because now your inspired action is supposed to teach you, okay, what's beneficial for my life, what's detrimental for my life. Now it's going to teach you what you really can and can't do. And you're going to be able to say, oh, I've been moving out of permission, not ability. Now, but because I moved out of permission for so motherfucking long, you feel me? I have to strengthen my abilities first. Like when I started trading and investing and shit, I've been wanting to do this since I was a kid. I never forget, I was like 13 or 14. My mama was talking about investing and, trying to, move money in the stock markets and shit. She planted that seed then. And I said, I got to learn how to do this shit. But I wanted the ability. I didn't want the permission. So many motherfuckers just want the permission, and they think because they're so used to permission-based thinking, it's like input and output. It ain't input and output. It's effort, my nigga. It's skill and effort. It's not input and output. It's skill and effort. And the law of the deliberate action is going to, determine whether you're going to be compensated for that. You compensated according to skill and effort, not input and output. This is why motherfuckers give up on shit so much, because they don't realize that ability is developed. But when you're given permission, it serves as a means to try to mask ability. You feel me? Oh, you can do this. Tell me how. Here's your permission to do it. Now you got to go figure it out. That was one of the biggest things that I had to learn how to break through when I became an entrepreneur. This shit ain't about permission. This shit is about ability. That's why MLMs work so much, because it gives you that illusion. Like, oh, you have the ability to do it, but we're going to give you the permission, and we're going to tell you what ability is going to work according to the permission. So this is why you have to do X, Y, and Z. When I was in MLM and shit, they was like, yo, you have to stick to the script. I can't, because this doesn't allow my abilities in this motherfucker. You're giving me permission. I'm beyond permission, nigga. The fuck? Fuck y'all. But at the same time, ability takes a long time to develop. When I first started investing and trading, I had good results. I had good results because I happened to start when the markets was up. So all I knew how to do was buy. So it looked like I knew what I was doing, because I was becoming profitable, input and output, until the markets changed and the sellers kicked in and them bitches whooped everybody's ass. I was like, whoa, wait, whoa, hey, I didn't know what the fuck to do. I had the permission. But then I had to step back and say, I got to go beyond permission and go for the ability. Once I got the ability and the skill and the effort started kicking in, then it took a lot. I had to dive into it, had to really break it down, I had to really learn a lot. But it took that inspired action because I realized what I was attracting. I realized what I had to become attracted to and what I had to repel. Entrepreneurship taught me a lot with inspired action because it taught me in real time. I was learning and applying the 12 laws of the universe as I was learning them from a woke perspective and a philosophical perspective. When I started studying the 12 laws, when I was an entrepreneur as well, and I was able to see what I was applying. You feel me? I was able to see what I was applying. I realized you have to have that inspired action because it has to be in the law of attraction, what you want. When I first wrote my book, when I was writing my books, people was like, oh, I have to you don't need permission. I have to set up a schedule. I need to write this. No, you write till you're done. Get the shit done. Inspired action. I was on the vibration and the attraction to be an author. You feel me? And because I was in that vibrational space, the inspired action was there. Everything that I've done was based off of inspired action. This is why I say the law of transmutable energy is my favorite law, simply because once my inspired action was developed and I started to see, okay, this is detrimental, this is beneficial. How do I make this work in my favor? You feel what I'm saying? Anything that's detrimental is working against me. It's still working, but it's working against me. Anything that is beneficial is working for me. Now I have to become aware of my deliberate action to know when things are working for me, when things are working against me, and transmute them. This is when you're solving problems. This is when you go into the space of, case in point, I say this and I'm really going to wrap it up. When I was doing trading and everything, every loss was, every time the market went down, it was detrimental. I lost because I was only trying to buy. But then I was like, how do I transmute this into a win? Oh, I move with the sellers. That taught me how to understand short selling. Oh, it's a whole nother world in this shit. Okay, now I tap into my abilities with the inspired action. Because now I'm using the transmutable energy with my inspired action. Because now I already know what I'm attracting. I already know what I want. I already know what I want to get. Right? I'm moving at the vibration of that. Now I know what my inspired action is to reveal what's detrimental and what's beneficial. If I only want to align with what's beneficial in accordance with what I'm going to attract, now I know how to transmute the energy correctly. It's not just as simple as, oh, I'm sad today, so I'm going to be happy. No, that's not how you transmute energy. That's not how you transmute energy. You have to understand benefit and detriment. This is why I said there's only two feelings, two emotions, joy and pain. Because the detrimental shit brings you joy. The beneficial shit brings you joy. The detrimental shit brings you pain. And these are the two barometers that let you know whether you're going the right way or the wrong way. So now when you know that this is bringing you pain, now how do I transmute it into the joy? Which means how do I take it from detriment into benefit? Most motherfuckers give up. And they'll say, this just ain't for me. It can be for you if you want it to be, but is your action inspired? Are you aligned to attract with this shit? This is why when people say, yo, I did this move and then this next thing happened. This is how the universe works. It's called inspired action. If the door has not opened yet, you didn't get the key. It doesn't mean walk away from the door and say, okay, this door just doesn't open for me. I got to stay in the hallway. No, I have to find the key. How do I find the key? By understanding that this key is detrimental. This door can be opened, but I have to figure out how to open it. My actions have to be inspired enough to produce the key or to show me where I find the key. And then I can open the fucking door. I don't just give up. But when you have incentivized action, you just give up. When you only have permission, you just give up. When you're not calibrated according to the other laws of the universe to make the inspired action be inspirational for your benefit, you're going to give up. You're going to quit. But off the other side of that, people will call you stubborn. People will call you insane when they say, yo, I can't quit because I know that the inspired action is going to give me the result. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. But because people are willing to trade their time for money and not figure out the best way to maintain their time, they ultimately lose it all because they don't understand the law of inspired action. But I'm going to go ahead and end there because it's longer than a motherfucker. Look, go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And our kids, all we have to, they already have all of these laws. They already are very fluent in knowing how to use all these laws. They just don't know what they are. You feel me? Your child will do something. You ask a child, like, you be thinking they rebellious and shit, and he's like, yo, you did it anyway. Case in point, Simba. Mufasa told his little ass, do not go to that shadowy place. That is beyond our borders. Oh, nigga, you already Simba said no. Mufasa said no. But Scar, what did he do? He planted the seed. He planted the seed that put Simba on the vibration to correspond with that, to attract what was what was in the elephant graveyard. He never told him that it was danger. He never told him anything. The law of inspired action kicked in, and he now was attracted to that danger without knowing it was dangerous. What did he say when he got to the elephant graveyard? I laugh in the face of danger. Ha ha ha. Then hyenas came out on his ass and he got scared. But he had inspired action because he had been calibrated to be attracted to the elephant graveyard. Our babies are like that. You can't figure out why they did something. Ask yourself, is this the law of inspired action, bro? This is the law of inspired action. This little motherfucker right here. This is the law of inspired action. Now, when you know that they're doing, you have to take a step back. Don't ask them, why did you do that? What vibration are you on? What compelled you to do that? They're not going to tell you they know, because they don't. They don't even realize how much is already programmed to their unconscious mind to make them do that action. And you can say all day long, yo, I raised you better than that. You know better than this. You know better than this. Inspired action supersedes that shit. And if we are not programming our babies are being programmed. But they're already hardwired to understand all the laws of the universe. You feel me? But then when we don't allow them to feel their feelings, when we don't allow them to do these actions without being punished, because we make them follow the permission rather than, and we suppress their abilities, they'll do anybody else's. They'll be inspired to act for other people. And they'll never be inspired to act for themselves, which violates, religious tenets when they say train a child up in the way that they should go. Because they're not going to use their inspired action. They're going to do whatever gets them approval or gives them praise. And if they're not getting enough praise, their inspired action is going to be spiteful. So you think your child is rebellious? You took away my permission. No, by giving me permission, you took away my ability. And I got to show you better than I can tell you. You feel me? I know a lot of people who say, when people tell me that I can't do something, I do it anyway. Because I got to prove to you that I can do it. So you're not even doing it for you. Your inspiration isn't inspired. It's incentivized. Because now you want to show this motherfucker. Haters are my motivation. Don't let haters be your baby's motivation, because they will never operate from inspired action, only incentivized action. And you will be bought when you are operating from incentivized action, because incentivized action is not a law. But take a step back and really program and put into your babies and make sure that the 12 laws stay operable in their life. Because once they are able to move that way, their inspired action is limitless, bro. They break the barriers on limitations of their abilities because they don't worry about permission anymore. But that's what they want us to worry about. This is why we have authority figures. Make sure nobody develops any ability because they're so wired to permission. Feel me? But I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. I'm out.